Your loss.
I could do that.
You could, yeah.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline. I see we have some early birds here in the chat. Of course, OG, our boy OG, is here already. What's going on, OG? I hope you're doing well. Payden, as always, in here early. Guys, tonight we got a fun one. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got our boy CMB in here tonight. CMB, how you doing, dude? First time on the channel. How does it feel?
I know. Good. What's up, everybody?
You all know CMB. If you guys watch Geeking Out, I mean, he's a veteran at this point. Sean actually made it here on time tonight. We got to do a little golf clap in the chat for Sean. I don't know if you guys have easy access to that golf clap emoji, but we got Sean here because Sean's got a new work schedule, but he was gracious enough to squeeze in here, thankfully. So we will have more people joining us later.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. We will have more people joining us later. Lane will be back this week, guys. I know we all missed Lane last week. He'll be back this week. So, but let's get right into it. Who wants to talk about the Chrome Stormtrooper? I feel like everybody wants to talk about the Chrome Stormtrooper. Usually I like to kind of dangle it in front of your guys' faces and make you wait, but let's just get right into it because I know a lot of us are excited for that Chrome Stormtrooper. Let's pull him up here. Give me one sec. There we go. So, guys, I don't know. The guys over at Hot Toys Hotline are pretty smart and geeking out, too, because I know we were all kind of on the same page where we said, just be patient. These figures are going to come. And here they are. Now, we do have one that hasn't showed up yet on Sideshow, but so far we did get two of them. So I think it's safe to say we're going to get the other one. It's just a matter of when. But, guys, the Chrome Stormtrooper is here. I'll be honest with you. Out of all of them, I personally don't see this one lasting very long. The reason I say that is because the Hong Kong numbers in terms of stock for this one were very low. And we saw the same thing with the Arena Boba Fett. This one actually had half of the amount of stock of the Arena Boba Fett in Hong Kong. So if that sets off any warnings for me, that tells me, hey, if you want this, drop the pre-order just in case it sells out quick. Because we saw that happen with Arena Boba Fett and the Chrome Clone Trooper. So how many of you guys in the chat picked up this Chrome Stormtrooper? This kind of caught me off guard. I was telling everybody backstage that when it first popped up and people were messaging me, I was like, dude, is the Chrome Clone Trooper back in stock? I got confused for a second, then I had to do a double take, and I'm like, oh crap, the Chrome Stormtrooper, and I ran and pre-ordered it. But who's picking this up? Let us know in the chat. CMB, I know you were kind of excited for this one when we first saw it drop. Kind of give us your thoughts on this figure. And the price, too. I didn't talk about price yet, but $240. What do you think of that price, and do you think it's worth the money?
$240. I mean, because you're not gonna really get much. You're just getting a trooper and two blasters, really.
Yeah.
And then the chrome effect on it. I mean, I was excited for it just because it's chrome, it's shiny, looks good. I always wanted to get like the bronze and the gold one. I think by getting this is actually going to give me that push to want to go backwards and get them.
I know, man. That worries me because I think it's going to push up the price.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, the gold one's not too bad on the reseller market. It's that copper one that's pretty pricey.
Yeah, that is true.
But I mean, because the other ones, for the releases, I wasn't really excited for just because, stealth suit cap wasn't my thing. Like, to me, the endgame cap was the definitive Captain America outfit for me. Right. So, and then Iron Man's not really like a character that I'm all about.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
so, this one I was all about, because it's Star Wars. It's a Stormtrooper and unique chrome. So I was all about getting this one. And then when it dropped today, it was like, oh, that's awesome. $240. I was like, I kind of wish it was like $220, $235.
Right.
But
because that's standard for like a basic trooper, like $220.
Yeah, exactly. But it is what it is. It's chrome. They're gonna make it exclusive, so they're gonna upcharge just a little bit. And then, but using that $25 credit that they included with that photography book, it helped. So it wasn't that much of a loss, I guess, to me.
Yeah, that's true.
And then it was just weird that when they first came out, it said pre-order. It, and then I had a feeling, like we were talking about backstage, like I had a feeling that was a mistake, even though it said pre-order earlier, because mine didn't have a date. Like it said
exactly,
pre-order, but it didn't have a date on when it was coming or anything. And even when I went to go check out, it just was like NRD and then, final payment. So it said, this feels like Boba Fett arena suit, like another mistake where the system hasn't caught up yet. Yeah. And in my head, I was like, watch, it's going to ship tonight. And I went and checked it later, about an hour later. And sure enough, that's what it said, preparing to ship. Went and checked on the page and it said, went from pre-order to add to cart. I was like, another glitch.
Yeah. Another glitch. See, that happened to me, though, because, like, I pre-ordered it when it first went up, right? And I tried to use one of my 10% offs because I knew this was coming. So I saved one of my 10% offs on my phone. And then I went to use it, and I couldn't because it was a pre-order. And then a couple hours later, they fixed the listing, and then it was in stock. And I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? So I had to cancel my order and reorder it with the coupon. But then I couldn't apply my rewards because now I have to wait for the rewards that I used on it to go back on my account. So, yeah, that kind of annoyed me. But, hey, what are you going to do? Yeah, guys, if you have those coupons on your shipper boxes, those do work on this figure and on the Mark 46 because they count as an in-stock item because they're actively shipping now. People are already preparing to ship notifications on their accounts who just placed orders. So this is pretty incredible that they're moving this fast. Oh, look who it is, just on time. Lane, how's it doing, man? He can't hear us. Always a technical difficulty with Lane.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am technically proficient as the man around the corner.
There you go. Yes, the contest code does work too. I forgot about that. So, guys, any of these little contests that Sideshow emails you about
the
or
$25
it pops up,
codes works on it.
Exactly. Yep. So, I mean, those are free codes. Those codes usually suck. So the fact that they work on it is pretty awesome.
You know what's hilarious? That they actually work on the Cable and the Venom Iron Man.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like Sideshow. I feel like it's another sign that Sideshow's tired of stuff sitting because before, you guys remember the coupons were just getting nerfed and nerfed and nerfed, and they worked on less and less stuff, and it's turning around again. Now they work on everything because they want to move this stock.
I'm just guessing they probably could they have over ordered on like maybe Cable or something like that. If that
could be
being on there. So everybody wait till it's in stock, and then it'll be 30% off by like October, by New York Comic-Con.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you guys think about this? You had me screwed up on the time because you had me thinking when you were talking on Central Time, not Eastern Time.
Always Eastern Time, baby.
Or else I would have been on here already. I would have already been on here because I was waiting. I was thinking it was 7 o'clock my time.
I mean, you're only 7 minutes late when you joined. That's respectable.
Well, yeah, but I would have been here on time, but I was thinking the wrong time frame.
So you hear that, guys? Lane's blaming me for him not showing up.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, why take responsibility when you can just throw it at somebody else instead? That is the American way, sir.
I guess I deserve that one. I'll take it.
I know. You're the leader, so in the end, the leader gets blamed.
That is true. Before we let's hold that thought real quick. I want to say what's up to some people in the chat.
Yep.
Some guy, how you doing, bro? I hope you're doing well. We're all doing great on a nice Thursday night. We're talking about hot toys, so you can't get much better than that. Our boy Leighton in the house. Leighton, how you doing, man? I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. Riley Reviews. What's up, my dude? Riley says, what's up, Hotline? And peep that Spotty, bro. Yeah, I saw yours, too. I got my Spotty here in the back.
You are the biggest churro fans in the history of the world.
Yes, we are the biggest churro fans. I said this in my review, guys. I bought this for the churro, and I just happened to fall in love with the figure when I got it. But later we'll show off the Spotty if you guys want to see it some more. I'll pull up my camera and we'll show it off. Yeah, Cap is definitely next. I feel like
New York Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's what some people were saying earlier in one of the chats I was in. I'm like, that kind of makes sense. Maybe if they hold off until New York Comic-Con, because I mean they gave us 2 of them, you know. So.
And they're kind of random thing here. This Best Timber, like who the even bleep knew about this?
Right.
I think they've actually got 2. I think it's a little bit hard to find right now, but they've already got the sign up for the $10 code. I think for the New York
Yeah, they're
Comic
just
Con already, too.
throwing $10 codes everywhere. I mean, it's like
They
there's
got
a
me.
new
I'm
sign-up
almost
every
at
week.
$300 right now in points.
You know what that means? It's time to pre-order the DeLorean. That's what that means. See, CMB, you agree, right? It's time to pre-order the DeLorean. You got $300. What better to spend it on?
Dude,
Lane?
that's a hell of a down payment, man. Dude.
Well, I mean,
Do it,
technically, I
do
could
it.
put. Let's see, how much? $530 toward it without spending anything on it. And
There
get
you
it down
go.
to
That
300.
covers literally more
Yeah,
than
but I'm
half
not
of
getting
it.
the DeLorean.
That means like all you got left is literally a figure's worth of a payment.
No, I've that stuff is waiting here. I've got a couple things already in
Lane, can you read this real quick?
Squibbity Boobity.
Squiggity boogity. Squiggity
Squiggity
boogity.
boogity. Or that sounds like Maz talk if I've ever heard. Let's get the Maz translator
Oh, there we
out.
go.
And then maybe we can get it.
There it is again.
I was thinking more Mississippi Boogity Boo or something like that, but
So Lane's getting a DeLorean?
no.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard
That's what
not
he
only
said.
It's, unfortunately,
what he
the
said.
only certainty in life right now is 2025 when Mace Windu's coming for everybody.
No, I think
You know
the
what would-
real certainty is that you're growing a beard. I think that's the actual certainty, Lane.
Beareth thy groweth.
Circa about maybe 2006, you would have seen with me in a beard, but you haven't.
Guys, you
haven't
know
had
the
one since.
drill. You know the drill. 50 likes and Lane will grow a beard. We're just going to keep doing this until we convince him to do so. 50 likes.
You know, it's like I
absolutely
like
fine.
Lane. I like Lane and everything, but I mean, he's always cosplaying as General Hammond from Stargate SG-1. I just want to see the man with a beard.
So I can look like
Lane,
Richard
I
Mole
didn't
or
say
something
that,
like
Lane. I didn't say that. That was not me this time.
However, at least he's doing like a really powerful man that he's cosplaying. You know, some people go out and it's just like, dude, you like died like in the first fight in
That's true.
Mortal Kombat. You
Those are
know,
the characters that people get attached to, though. And,
I know.
To be fair, it's like if you're cosplaying, you know the costumes that everybody's gonna wear, and that's the one where that's the one-off character where you're like, cool, I might be one of the only few people, or maybe the one of the only people dressed as this character. So it's kind of smart if you think about it.
So
I don't
you
know,
got-
Doc. I don't know shit about fantasy football or
No.
football in general, so I can't help you there, man.
Well, the games,
I know you're
the,
real
the
into
Thursday night game's going, so we're
it.
gonna be
Yeah,
running
I don't know
that
nothing
here
about
shortly.
that, bro.
Well, so for this, I'll sort on hologram.
You have the code.
Good
I mean,
luck.
that's cool.
Good luck with the hologram there. I mean, this Stormtrooper, like I watched the unboxing Terry did, and I
That's
mean, it
actually
looks.
while you're talking about that. Go ahead. I'm just gonna pull it up in the background since you brought up unboxing.
So I think it looks all right. I mean, if you're not a fan of the Stormtrooper, this is not going to change your mind in any way or something like that of buying it. For whatever reason, this chrome, in comparison to the other shiny versions of it, I actually like better. Although I will say, of these kind of one-off Stormtroopers, I think the porcelain looks the best because it kind of at least keeps some of the natural white color and everything to the original Stormtrooper.
CMB, was it you that said they should do a porcelain Darth Vader? I thought that was like the best idea ever. I think it was you that said that.
Carbonized.
I can't
Darth Vader.
remember.
Someone said that, and I'm like, dude, that would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever get a porcelain figure again,
Yeah.
but hey, you never know.
But this, I mean, it's a decent looking trooper, but I don't understand why, if you're gonna get, this is one thing I don't get. Why give it the hand blaster? It's the same thing for like with the Death Trooper Chrome. Why do you not have like a holster to sit or hang the gun
Yeah.
off of? This guy, because he kind of reminds me more of like the A New Hope one in some ways. That I don't know. Why not include that with this?
Yeah, because this isn't technically canon because it's the Chrome Stormtrooper. They
Yeah.
could have gone crazy with it and thrown in a holster,
Yeah.
That would have been cool. Like
Yeah.
the traditional leather holster that comes with that would have been cool, but
Or
The
I
gold
know it
one
would have
comes
been
with the
pleather.
holster.
that's
Yeah, it
right.
would've been-
You're
it
right.
would-
The gold ones do have a holster, so that kind of messes with the continuity of the line a little bit.
Yeah,
Yep.
it would have been pleather garbage, but
To be fair, those holsters they have held up, at least for me
Yeah.
personally. They've held up pretty well, but not the Death Trooper one. You know that little loop, that little crappy loop.
Oh,
that
yeah,
just
those things.
disappears if
Terrible.
you look at it.
I understand why they took that off the Death Trooper, but it's also kind of, then why'd you give us the other blasters? There's like literally nothing.
Right, unless you're just gonna
Put
have
it-
them.
because people
I mean-
would complain.
That is
Yeah, I
true.
mean, trying to figure out sometimes why weapons and stuff for troopers or whatever have you can make you kind of confused from Hot Toys. It's like, why did they include the Shore Trooper blaster with
Right.
the Imperial Squad Leader? Like, we never saw him use it or anything like that. But here's an extra gun. I mean, I like it because I have that with my tank commander, since he's kind of a similar. Other than the headpiece, he's the same type of armor basically. So to me, it makes sense he has it. But
Look how shiny that. This is a glove.
this
figure,
is shiny.
man.
Like, this is glow
This
in
is
the
a
dark
glove.
figure.
This ain't no chrome clone. This is a completely different finish for
Yeah.
sure. Look how shiny that boy is. Like I'm not a big glove person, but I might glove this one.
I do like these kind of they kept kind of the continuity for these 3 releases for the clone Trooper, the
Right.
black chrome with the base with kind of the chrome-ish like Imperial symbol and stuff. I think that's really cool. So if you get all of them and you have them, they obviously don't jive with a lot of other stuff, but if you get all of them and you have them on their bases,
It's something different, you know.
I think they kind of jive with each other better.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
if I had to choose between spending $240 on this or like of getting troopers that are out right now, not talking about ones down the road, like you might look at the Purge Trooper or something like that. If you're a trooper person, I'd be much more after the Purge Trooper because it looks to me way cooler than this. But of ones out right now, I'd rather get the Return of the Jedi Scout Trooper. I think that figure looks cooler than this.
If you're an Imperial Trooper fan, that's your like best option right now in terms of like badass.
That works on that works for the $25 one. That any percentage off Hot Toys one, the 10% off one, if you still got one of those. I mean, you have the option with the Scout Bike, but it's not a bad. I mean, price point wise, if you're having to, with these being kind of ones that I know we kind of knew from Shanghai. But we didn't know exactly if they were going to come. Like we said, I would assume
Dude,
so,
I
but
knew.
we didn't know.
I knew, dude.
I know, but
We knew.
We all knew. Lane, so what you're saying, Lane, is you didn't have faith in the Shanghai releases?
Yeah.
no.
He
I'm
was
saying-
like some of the
well, I don't know what to have faith
YouTubers
in.
out there that said it ain't.
Making Lane
I
cough. Stop it.
know that's because
You
I had
getting
some
thirsty?
soda.
You
I
need
had
to
some
drink some
soda.
water?
No, I had
What's
some
wrong?
soda. I had some soda earlier, so it causes me usually to cough because of acid reflux.
Speaking of soda,
But I think this guy, like, if you're trying to get in, because these exclusives can come and kind of, bleep you up if you're planning out your purchase.
and that's happening a lot right now, I'm sure.
If you're interested in one of these, but it's because they're all mostly self-contained for the most part. Maybe not the 46, like I guess kind of if you don't have that, but these are in such a nature where this guy, if you want to get one of the exclusives from recently, I mean, everybody wants the Arena Boba Fett, but obviously that one sold out. The ones you can get between this and the 46, if you collect both like just Disney properties, this is if you want to get one that's unique and stuff and one-off-ish, this is a lot more affordable than the Mark 46.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying this earlier.
Until maybe Cap comes out.
It should have been more like 220, 230, but 240 still isn't bad. And like CMB said, there's a lot of different coupons and stuff you can use right now in this figure. So
it's not you're pre-ordering it. It's literally
right. So that definitely helps. I mean, I used a 10% off, and I got like $45 off of my Mark 46. And some people had that 15% off. Like I think Sean, you had one of those 15% offs, right?
Yeah.
I do, and it worked on the Mark 46.
Yeah, so you probably got like a nice little discount on yours. I mean, with 10%, I got 50 or $45. So you probably got over $50 off of yours.
I got over 60 on it.
Yeah, see, you can't beat that, man.
What I would say that I do like about something, and with the Captain America coming, is if you're not totally into some of the recent releases, like if you're not into Bad Batch or some of the recent shows or anything like that, or much of the figures from like say MCU, season 4, fourth phase so far, where we're getting some of those figures now. We're in that time frame right now where we're seeing them pop up, like say the Bucky, the Winter Soldier one as an example. The Mark 46 or this one, or maybe that Stealth Suit Captain America. If you want to get something where there's just nothing you want to, it's not money is a problem. It's like you're not finding figures or the properties you've been watching recently that you like. These are a nice option. You may not have a 46, so you have the money available because you went, well, there's no new Iron Man, and maybe you're not into the Mark 5 or whatever. This one, maybe one you have. Or you're a Stormtrooper collector. There hasn't been many troopers. Honestly, since
recently, yeah, like Imperial troopers, apart from the
you might have been
Mando stuff.
overwhelmed last year, but so maybe there's not anything from like Obi-Wan you're really interested in, or maybe it's just the Purge Trooper, or one of those things, and you wanted to get something this fall. This, even though it's different, obviously, this is a nice Stormtrooper, which it's a known thing to you. A Stormtrooper. Yeah,
that boy's shiny too. I was looking closely at this. The reason I pause it here, I'm not seeing any bubbles. And of course, this is a different finish from that chrome clone, but I just wanted to stop it here because this was like one of the bigger problem areas on that clone, is on like the breastplate area, and I'm not seeing that on this one. I mean, they could have, who knows, they could have picked a good one out of the lot, but I got my fingers crossed. Hopefully, we don't have a.
Pocky, we're not done with the chrome set. Don't forget the big chrome boys still got to come out.
Oh yeah, let me address some comments here. Pokey said he's a hardcore trooper guy, but man, these chrome ones ain't it. Dude, I like the chrome stuff. Me personally, I don't know how excited I am for the chrome clone anymore because I'm so worried that I'm going to have some QC issues on mine because so many people have. So it kind of has like lessened my excitement for that figure. Mine should be shipping next month. I had it on a payment plan.
Does it make you hesitant for this one?
Not as much, no, because I know that this is a different finish. Like when we were looking at the chrome clone on last stream with Euler's Workshop, he noticed that it looked like it was like painted. These are like more like a vacuum metallized finish. Yeah. So it's a different process completely. So I think they tried a new type of paint on that chrome clone. It just didn't work out for them. Not as much worried about this one. And I think it looks really, really good so far. JLam97, thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much for that. Welcome to the hotline. Combat Evolve, look who it is. How's it going, man? Combat, I know you're getting this chrome clone. Come on, dude. Don't say you're passing on it. Don't say you're passing on the chrome clone. All right, excuse me, the chrome Stormtrooper. You can't pass on it.
I'm passing on it, too.
Combat Evolve is a trooper guy. You can't pass on the chrome Stormtrooper.
I'm a trooper guy, too. I'm passing on it.
Lane, stop letting him have glory for passing on it. We got to give him crap for it. No, it's okay. This is honestly, these are at the end of the day, these are niche figures. Yeah, Maz says Lane will just sell whatever he buys. His opinions are invalid.
Maz has been saying this, but I did first thing. So Maz has been saying this for a long time. So I'm not surprised. Maz, you should just go ahead, since you like to make wisecracks. For every wisecrack, you have to send me one of your predators.
Oh, he's got plenty of those. Hey,
I know.
Maz, if you're handing out predators like that, let me know because
I'll take a Woodpoint.
Do it because in like 2 weeks, Lane will just turn around and sell it, and then I'll be able to get it for really cheap.
You guys realize I have not actually sold any figures in like 6 months, right?
Lane's on a streak, man.
Wait, it's like Anakin happened less than 6 months ago.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The Death Trooper Specialist I bought from you was less than 6 months ago.
Damn, Lane. Caught in 4K, boy. Caught in
4K. However, that was 4 months ago, so I don't believe you sold anything in 4 months, or at least not that you've told us.
What he's trying to say...
Anakin was less than 4 months ago.
Oh, man, I tried to give you an escape, dude.
What he's trying to say is he's trying to do better. Just like Tobey Maguire in No Way Home, trying to do better. That's what Lane's trying to do. He's trying to do better. He knows he made his grave mistake with the dark side Anakin, and he's now forgiven for it. So he's on a track.
Fine. I'm gonna be like Dr. Connors. Don't try, just do better.
Oh man, Lane, I tried.
And you know what? Okay, Cobra. I'll just remember every time you're there running away. Saying how your life is terrible.
This ain't about me or my organization.
That fails every time. From turning, you have even failed your plan, like to turn the planet into people full of clowns or something like that. To be much of a clown.
Killer clowns from outer space.
Good help is hard to find these days. You got to get what you can get. Not too many idiots out there willing to just go and die by the sword.
You decided it would be a good idea to somehow find the two twins in the world who are the worst businessmen in the world, and manage to feel each other's pain when one gets punched in the face and the other feels it.
But if they remain in business, how bad are they actually?
Exactly.
If they remain rich, how bad are they really?
He's got a point. He's got a point there.
Yeah.
Blackbird Tech, how's it going, bro? I hope you're doing well. You ordered your Chrome Stormtrooper a while ago. Yeah, me too. I think I basically ordered it the moment it popped up when Insane One sent me a message on Instagram. That was the first message I saw, and I jumped right on it once I realized what it actually was. Or the Death Troopers. I'm assuming you're talking about the Chrome Death Troopers. I think people did get preparing to ship notifications. Have they actually been sent out though? Do you guys know?
I canceled mine.
The
After
what?
I saw
The what was ordered?
The what?
The Chrome Death Troopers.
After I saw
No.
the gold Chrome.
I'm
After I saw the
still
gold Chrome.
I'm still waiting on that to ship.
Yeah, mine I think also gets paid off next month because, and like Lane was saying, this kind of goes along with that. Like when they push these exclusives where it's like a short release, it's very exciting. But for me, I don't want to throw up all that money right off the bat, and I'm kind of glad I didn't with the Chrome.
And
clone.
especially with stuff not like we're used to the cycle of pictures showing up in Hong Kong and then having like at least maybe a couple weeks before we start seeing, or a month or more. And right now we're still wondering Boba. Now I think this is a rare thing. Like we saw this happen a couple times last year, with some figures.
Hey, you notice is that Guy? If that's Guy, like
of course it's Guy.
He's
I think
getting
that's
better.
Terry.
Look, he's
No, I think that's Terry.
Actually, let's.
Yeah, that's
is it-
Terry. That's Terry.
okay. I was gonna say,
Oh, yeah,
the
it's
guy
Terry.
is all
That's
shaky
Terry.
and scared to bend the figure, and like
They
I was
need
like,
to just
you know,
leave Guy to it. That's his
I was
job.
like,
Oh,
no,
hold
just
up.
Terry. If it's Terry, bring Terry back. Because look, Terry's not.
Terry's
scared to
really good.
Take it to the limit.
Terry's
He was
good.
twisting the hell out of that figure. That's why I was like, ooh, Guy's gotten better. He's not
No,
shaking.
this is
and
Terry.
like,
I knew it was
"Oh,
Terry as soon as I
Terry's
saw
the
him.
goat. Terry's the goat, man.
Yeah. That's
I
how
have
you know
to
it's
say,
Terry.
It
Because,
might as
dude,
well
he's
be
just
Maz with those gloves.
Yeah. This
taking it
thing-
to that figure, man.
I have to
Right.
say though, I do actually like how this looks. Like seeing this here up close and everything, I'm
Very
kinda tempted with
shiny,
that.
yeah. It looks good, man. It looks way. Here's the thing. I was so excited for that Chrome clone because, admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of the original colors on those metallic Stormtroopers. But this one, I'm kind of glad they went back to the old finish because after seeing all the issues with that Chrome clone, and this is like kind of a welcome change. It's messing with my head, man. I didn't want those original ones, and I'm like,
Well,
man.
it doesn't come with this. I can see why the Chrome, like if you hadn't already pre-ordered them, but if you were looking at them, maybe trying to get one or the other right now, because
Oh, that
you know
boy.
the Chrome clones are becoming where you probably can get them for not a horrible,
I mean, they
$500
pop. Yeah, they
tickets.
pop up on seconds, and honestly, they kind of sit for a second,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny.
Yeah, but if you're looking at these now, trying to see, this trooper does not the Chrome clone, whatever some QC, it comes with cooler stuff. It comes
Yeah,
with
for
more
sure.
stuff and cooler stuff.
Jetpack,
just with
I
the
mean, come on.
jetpack and all that, looks really good. But for the price point for this one being $240 and stuff like that, if you guys, with all the value, with all the point, if you do it right now, if these guys are available like a month from now or a month and a half from now, where they may not have some of the specials like the other things and everything, I might be a little
Right.
bit more hesitant. But if you just enter the contest for one of the, like, basically, hey, try and win this item for free,
Yeah.
and you have a 25 coupon, you get the guy for $215.
And he looks real good. Like you said, he's looking real good. And I want to highlight Riley's comment here because it's kind of how a lot of people are feeling right now after seeing this figure today. Riley says, damn, I'm kind of tempted with this Stormtrooper. This video is doing it for me. And that's the thing. We didn't know what to expect because everybody saw that Chrome clone and they're like, damn, they kind of dropped the ball on this one. But not with this one. It's a different finish. So I could see a lot of people kind of getting reeled back in. They're going to get reeled back in for this figure. And me
And we
personally,
already-
I'm pretty impressed from what I'm seeing here. Hopefully it's as good in hand, but we'll find that out soon enough, won't we?
What, do you think it was maybe just a tiny bit strategic? They put this boy out second after the Mark 46. Let that one kind of hook people in a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that one was that's still an Iron Man figure, even if it's a 1.25 or whatever. That was a good figure before. That's where you lure people in saying, hey, we've got this really cool, figure you can get that's quote kind of exclusive and stuff. But
Yeah.
it may be outside the price point for some people because it's $455. But you have them psychologically hooked in checking your stuff out, and then because there's kind of crossover sometimes with Star Wars and MCU because they're both owned by Disney, and then you come out with this boy, who's only $240, and maybe there's 10% off or whatever.
Yeah,
Someone
coupons
had a coupon.
galore.
And you might look at that
man.
and they go, "Ooh, that looks really shiny and kind of cool," and it's
He almost looks like kind of cartoony because it's so
Yeah.
shiny and with like the light reflecting off him.
So,
It's cool, man. This
I
look at
would-
there you go. There's your answer to
dual
the Team
blast
Blast.
Yeah, just put him in. But I mean, like, I mean, we're probably, sometimes fans, it's like we do fandom booking for wrestling or like conceive of comic storylines. It's like, why didn't they do something like this in the comic books or whatever? Or this would be a great movie storyline. You can conceive up all this conspiracy stuff. But to me, it feels like it could be a strategic thing where they put the Iron Man out first, kind of hook people were doing these things, where that first one, the Iron may be more a higher price point, especially because it's like you said, kind of out of the blue, not out of the blue, but for some people it might have been out of the blue.
Well, it was interesting timing that these figures in general were released now because they had plenty of time before this event to release it. So obviously it is a majorly about timing for them.
And now they've got Throne Boba coming, Echo.
And now how much sense does this make, though? How much sense does this make that they just cleared all that warehouse space out, and now they have these and they're ready to ship? It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I got to be honest with you. It makes
we're still going we're still going. Where is our blogger pictures?
Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. It's like
It's been weird.
Sideshow is getting figures before Hong Kong now. At the
You're
moment,
not even waiting for blogger photos.
yeah, we're not even getting blogger photos. Like we're not even getting a heads up that stuff is coming out. Like Throne Boba,
wait a
repaint
minute.
Boba.
Okay, Boba on Throne, they did post in Facebook, and then they removed him.
I mean,
So that was a weird
too.
situation.
That's very
because
weird too.
I was online. It was up there for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. I mean, just because the thing is, it's cool that we're seeing that, but I also think for longtime collectors, it kind of messes with the head a little bit because you're used to a certain ordering of stuff, even if it's relatively like last year where we had some of the shore troopers come like super fast, like within a week sometimes after we saw them come out in Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. But we had some ordering where we saw pictures, kind of had a chance to see the finished version of it. Like how Cable and stuff, like Cable and Winter Soldier were releases that followed the usual pattern.
Yeah.
And it's not like we can say it's like a particular property. So it's not like we're seeing all Book of Boba Fett figures or all, it's jumping all over the place. I mean, it's the Mark I War Machine reissue and then Echo from the Bad Batch. And then,
Echo. We're going to talk about Echo.
Well, I just mean like it's not where we can say strategically like they're trying to get the book. Hot Toys and Sideshow are trying to get the Book of Boba figures out before season 3 of Mando or conspiracy stuff that you could make.
I truly do think
stuff.
they're changing things up. I really do.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing a different approach, and it's kind of obvious that it's communication between Hot Toys and Sideshow that's making these changes happen. So we're all kind of along for the ride. We got to wait and see how they continue to evolve with what they're doing. We are going to touch on the waitlist stuff again because more stuff showed up on that last chance page. But I want to get into the Mark 46. Let me touch up on a couple comments before we move on to the Mark 46. Doc says he's passing on the Stormtrooper. Just needed the stealth suit. Mark 46 arrives Monday, so that's already been answered. Yeah, dude, Mark 46 is going to be dope. I'm excited to hear what you think of that one because I think you have the original Mark 46. So for people like you and Sean who own or will own both, it'll be nice to hear your thoughts and the comparisons on the two. Maybe when Sean gets his in, he could do like a live comparison. I'm sure he'd love to do that.
That's what I plan on doing.
Yeah, so that'll be really cool to see. And obviously Sean has had that one for a while, so he'll probably be able to spot the differences very quickly. I'm definitely excited for that stealth suit, though. I'm just waiting for that one to go up. Maybe New York Comic-Con, like we're all theorizing. Let's see. Moving Creature said it's a pass for him. Totally understand, dude. Again, a lot of these are niche figures. Most people won't have room for these in their collection because it just doesn't fit. I totally get it, especially if you didn't get the Chrome clone, like or any of these Chrome figures, for that matter. It wouldn't make any sense to pick up any of these if you didn't have any of the Chrome figures. So I totally understand it. Boba Fettuccini, what's up, dude? He says, "What's up, chromophobes?" That's a new one. I've never heard that one before. Is that what we are now? We're chromophobes. Is that we're chromophobes? If you don't like the Chrome Stormtrooper, you're a chromophobe. I feel like these Chrome figures are designed for shoe collectors. Dude, it's a shoe collector move. You know how it is. You know how it is with shoes. Every other week, there's a new colorway of the same shoe. All the Jordans, they just redo them in the same colorways over and over and over. So definitely a good comparison for sure. Haven't seen you in a minute, Andreas. How you doing? He said, "This doesn't fit in my collection. I canceled my Chrome Death Trooper. Too brown, IMO." It does. In some photos, it does seem like it has a bit of like a brown tint to it. It's interesting. I've seen a couple people say that. Zombie, what's up, Zombie? How you doing? He says that he needs to exchange his Chrome clone because of the damage, but I'm honestly contemplating just sending it back for a refund. Even before I got it the first time, I wasn't very excited. Glad Arena was great. Yeah, me too. I was a bit worried about that Arena after seeing the finish on that clone. I was like, man, did all these releases suffer the same fate? But I was happy to see that it didn't because the Arena Fet's great. And I kind of feel the same way as you. If I don't get that if I get that Chrome clone in and it doesn't like wow me, or if I have like significant QC issues, I honestly may consider just sending it back altogether. We'll just have to wait and see. It depends on it's for me. It's like when I open it up, my initial reaction is kind of what determines if I keep it or not.
Hey, so on his comment on the Chrome Death Trooper.
This one?
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't have a green tint to it to match the eyes. And I know what he's talking about because I can see the brown tint.
I see it too. Yeah, I noticed that when I was looking at it myself. I was like, it's got a bit of a dark brown tint to it. I mean, I still think it looks cool personally. I'm not canceling my pre-order or anything, but I noticed that as well.
But I think if they would have done like a green tint, a lot more people would have gone after it.
Yeah, for sure, because it's such a good contrast. I mean, look at those green eyes on the black chrome. But guys, let's get into the Mark 46. Obviously, being that this is a die-cast Iron Man figure, it's kind of a hefty price tag, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're approaching $500 now with these die-cast Iron Man releases, and that's definitely scary. It hurts. But we keep buying them, of course. If you're a Marvel and an Iron Man fan, it's kind of hard to pass on a Mark 46. This is one of the more iconic Iron Man suits.
Don't worry. 2024 will all be iron hardening it all over the place with our figure.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, speak for yourself.
I was about to say, a lot of people aren't a fan of that look at all. Myself included. But who knows, man? Who knows? Depending on how the character plays out, maybe it'll change your mind.
Oh,
that's how it is
in a couple
sometimes.
months, at least.
No, I don't even like the character from the comics. So no,
that's fair.
I'm good.
See, I have no experience with that character from the comics, so it's all fresh to me. So I'm unsure how I'm going to feel about it. But I will say I'm not a huge fan of the look. I'm not a huge fan of the look at all. It kind of looks like scrapped together parts from Tony Stark's garage, you know?
Well, that's how she originally made her first.
And I'm not a huge fan of that look. It's just scrapped together parts.
Oh, she technically stole one of his suits from an undercover.
Oh, so she's a
from one of
thief
his
and her armor's ugly?
MIT. Yeah, she stole Tony's earlier suits.
Yeah, that's like...
And then she tweaks it to her own. But yeah, she steals his Iron Man suit.
Yeah, that's kind of like Teen Lantern, who was a 12-year-old, stole some stuff to steal powers from the Green Lantern Corps. And she was an annoying 12-year-old who was like talking down to the Guardians.
That makes you automatically a lame character. You have to steal powers from a more cool character.
Yep.
Yeah, right?
From a core of cooler characters.
Right. But
Even
yeah,
Nameless Green Lantern 532 is cooler.
You know what this reminds me of?
What does it remind you of, Sean? I can't wait to hear it.
When that bastard stole Austin Powers.
Get in my belly. Yo, what's up, Chris? Collecting Madness in the house.
What's up? And what's up, chat? Dude, I've had a killer week. Somebody ran me off the road on Tuesday.
Was this when you were in the whip for work? The work whip?
No, it was my personal car on the way.
No. What did you run over to make your tires flat?
Curb. Some dude came into my lane, and I avoided the accident, which I should have let him hit me.
Probably not. I would have rather had 2 busted tires than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but it's literally costing me almost $1,000 to fix because of towing fees and where I work to get it back to where I live, and then to get an inspection to make sure nothing else was damaged, and then the cost of 2 new tires and alignment.
Well, also your safety, because if you actually got hit, it could have been worse. Guys, F in the chat for Chris's tires, please. That's very unfortunate.
So I've been dealing with that and the guy and whatnot, and then Kevin's about to move out, so he's, as you can see, packing up all his stuff. So we've been dealing with that. So
so Chris has had a hard life, guys, but he's here. That's what he came to gloat about. He's like, right? He came to gloat. He's like, this is how great I am.
So, Chris, do you like that? How he said, he's having a tough life there, so it's like he's empathizing, but also kind of backhanding at the same time in the same statement. That was great.
That's how you make people
But-
feel better. You got to make jokes about the
Yeah.
situation. Come on.
But we
man.
still got to
Yeah.
show up and we smiling because we stay positive out here.
Exactly. You know what, Chris? Hit him with the tagline. You have to now. Hit him with the tagline. Go ahead.
Oh, my tagline?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's always madness in love, and we love collecting.
And Chris loves collecting. And sometimes, if you want to make yourself feel better, that's what you got to say. Chris is really upset about his tires, but guess what? Guess what's here to save the day? The Mark 46 Diecast Civil War figure, now on Sideshow. Chris, since we're on the topic of Chris, and it's all about Chris right now, what are your thoughts on this Mark 46?
Well,
Did you see the price, by the way, as you were coming in?
no, I
$455.
didn't.
$455.
I mean,
So
that's kind of standard, isn't it, for Iron Man?
Well,
I mean,
now,
it's a bit
unfortunately-
now. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Like 405 compared to like 4. Yeah, it's definitely a jump. So, what am I thinking? But then
it's that diorama base, man.
I was just gonna say it's used. So here it is again. But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
care for it.
at least it doesn't have tires.
It
At
was
least
simple. What was he saying? At least it doesn't have tires. Yeah.
At least it didn't have tires that
damn.
don't match up
That's
correctly
that's
like the
too
Mark
soon.
5.
Oh damn! I thought that would have been Lane. That would have been a perfect joke about him
No.
crashing his car.
No,
and
no,
you
no.
You
I
backtracked.
I
You
know.
backtracked.
This was always referring to the Mark 5 reissue where the car tires are not in scaled properly and
Yeah,
stuff.
those
And
tires look like crap too.
Well,
yeah.
I'll use Lane's not joke, Chris. At least this figure doesn't have tires reminiscent to the ones on your car that got destroyed in the accident.
Well, I was going to say, I thought.
Wow.
I'm glad my
Jeez.
car doesn't look like that base did, though.
It's true. Your car probably still looks better even with the destroyed tires.
Honestly, Chris, I thought your kind of statement was going to be more life is a lot of boxes. There's always more for you to pick up.
Wow.
Dude, he's just going in tonight, isn't he?
I'm proud of you, Lane. That was a good one.
I'm no.
That was
it's
a good
just-
one.
But no, it's just I know what you mean by I had a long day yesterday for about 12 hours, and my work was trying to get me to work 13 hours today, and I finally said no. I said today no, and
Yeah, 13 hours, that's a no-go. No, thank you.
But nope, all in all, good looking Iron Man, good paint apps. Can't deny that. Iron Man is Iron Man, but got my Mark 85, so it's a pass. They're just saving me money.
Fair. It's very fair. I mean, that's the thing. There are so many Iron Man figures on pre-order right now. I kind of want to hear from the chat. How many of you guys have either picked this one up at this point or are thinking about picking it up? Me personally, I did briefly say it earlier. I picked this one up myself. It's the Mark 46, dude. I didn't have the original Mark 46. It is unfortunate that we got the base in place of the head sculpt. But that does kind of give some credit to those who originally had the first issue of the Mark 46, so it kind of separates the two releases, and I do appreciate that when Hot Toys does that. But yeah, I'm
Didn't the
I'm
Mark
definitely
46
grabbing
guy want this and then complain because it didn't have the head sculpt?
this. Yeah, it didn't. All that
it's not a straight
complaining.
reissue then, so he didn't get actually what he wanted.
Yeah, all that complaining,
Yeah.
it didn't live up to his
Yeah.
expectations.
So, what do you guys think, though? Just to kind of put this for recent Iron Mans, though. Obviously, we haven't seen the Mark 5. That seems to be the one that set everybody off. That one more than anything, because seeing the price point with this being $445. So, okay, you get the diorama base, but there's no head sculpt. Now, the thing I would ask to compare it to, because it's not a 2.0 like complete or we don't know. Honestly, we probably got to get it in hand, and you probably need to own the previous one to really.
So this is quite a bit improved. We have, I think, a previous stream we did compare them, and Sean and I were talking about it. There are quite a bit of improvements, I will say, and at least in the details. So I can kind of help you out there. They did make some improvements. I mean, of course, like you said, we'll have to get it in hand, but.
How do you feel with the price pointing of this being $450? Now, I guess technically
So-
maybe there's the exclusive bonus, but I would compare this because it's a recent one around the same time as this one is the Mark III 2.0, which is part of the showcase. Okay, it's a year and a half away, so it's a long time away yet. So obviously they've been working on this one for a while, but that one is the same price, $455. Leaving out the special edition, just like leaving out that extra stuff just out of the thing, but just a regular, version of it. It comes with the new diorama base, the same as this. It's got similar extra items and everything.
Yeah.
And that one has a head sculpt, and it's the same price.
Exactly. I want to kind of
Sorry,
piggyback off what we were saying and throw in Matt's comment. He's saying he hates big bases, though. Make a deluxe for it, just a lot of added cost. And yes, it absolutely is a lot of added cost. I personally do like this base, but it's like, here's my thing. When this initially came out, I was like, when the Mark III came out and that had that diorama base, I'm like, that's really cool. And I still think that's the coolest one because it has the Iron Monger on it. But as they've done another Iron Man and another Iron Man with the same base bottom and they're just changing the topper, I'm like, all right, it's kind of getting watered down now. And then the Mark V Shanghai exclusive again. Same thing. It's the exact same figure with that one, but it's a different base. It's that like big clunky base. And like Matt's saying, a lot of people either dislike these large diorama bases or they just simply don't have room for it, or they just don't want to spend the extra money. So I do agree with that. I mean, obviously in a perfect world, what would I take? The head sculpt or the base? The head sculpt all day. But at the end of the day, I do understand why they didn't give us the head sculpt. They do want to differentiate between, because believe it or not, I do think they care about that to an extent. Because for the most part, if we look at a lot of these kind of reissues, 3.0s, 2.0s, some of them they do that recently, at least the more recent ones, they have changed it up a little bit, so it's not exactly the same. Bespin Luke, perfect example. He didn't get the weather vane or the battle damage look. So I'm not surprised by this at all. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Matt. I think there should have been an option. But unfortunately, with this one, because they're exclusives, I feel like they want to keep it to one SKU. So that's why we just got one version of this this Mark 46 here.
I'm actually kind of opposite, and I only say that because when I think of Iron Man, like I'm thinking of him fully suited up. If I want Tony Stark, I'd probably do like a suit, like him in an actual suit, tie, and stuff. So 90% of the time, I'm gonna have him with the
or you might
mask
do like
or helmet on anyway.
You might do the mech test, or you might get the mech test Tony Stark or something like that to have a Tony Stark.
Right.
Right.
CMB, I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this figure, and also on that price. What are you thinking about that price? Do you think they're kind of starting to price themselves out with these diecast Iron Man figures?
Honestly, I don't think so. Just because they still see that there's hype. If Hot Toys had a feeling that these were not bringing in top dollar, they would drop the price. Because there have been certain figures, if you see that are Iron Man, even diecast, that are under $400. So it's almost like they know which ones to ride the hype train with when it comes to Iron Man, and which ones to, I guess, budget out for collectors. But at the end of the day, Iron Man is Asia's cash cow. So regardless of how we feel in the States, they're constantly going to make Iron Man figures for the Asian market because it sells.
That's a good point. And I think also too, a lot of people forget kind of how many opportunities for discounts we have right now in the U.S., especially through Sideshow, CollectorZown, because they're constantly doing deals and coupons. So realistically, like the $455 price tag, that stings. It's pretty pricey, but it's like, look, perfect example. When I pre-ordered it, when Sean pre-ordered it, we both got $45+ off. Sean got $60 off with a coupon. So that definitely helps a lot with this this price tag. And also, if you have rewards points saved up on any of these with any of these companies, you can utilize that as well. So it kind of lessens the burn a little bit. Obviously, things are changing a little bit.
Was this one free shipping?
No, unfortunately, we didn't get the free shipping promos on these guys.
It tells me that Sideshow definitely doesn't want these to become the next Armor. And either any one of these exclusives to hang around for like a year.
Which is weird because that Listerine Iron Man is an exclusive, and that's got free shipping, and that's in stock.
Still. And I wonder what it is with these. I wonder why they didn't extend the free shipping. I will say with this Mark 46, they did, and I don't know if it was an intentional, because like we always talk about, they always manage to slip up here and there. But this one had a $0 deposit as well, but the Chrome Stormtrooper did not. And sometimes that does depend on the IP if they're able to do that or not. So that very well could have been the case, or it could have just been the case of, hey, let's see how many we can move without the deposit.
I still like to know how we're getting this Mark 40, even though I know they've had the mold for a long time. How are we getting this Mark 46 kind of out of the blue relatively quickly? But we're having to wait for Neo till next year.
You know what? You know
just
why
because
that is?
This is an Iron Man figure, it's a lot easier for them to just pop the mold and make a robot than it is to sculpt out a human being.
and also, as you said, CMB, not only is Iron Man popular in the U.S., but he's even bigger in Asian countries. And obviously, being that this was originally a Shanghai store exclusive for the opening of a Shanghai store, it makes sense that they're like, let's do an Iron Man, let's do a Captain America, let's do like this shiny chrome Stormtrooper. Like, that's stuff that attracts people to
tailoring
the store.
too.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
Yep.
And this is yes, it is an updated version of a previous mold, but I'm sure it's not as difficult for them to update a mold as it is to completely do a new figure from scratch. So I'm not surprised they pushed this one out first. I'm right there with you though, Lane. I would like to see that.
I'm still wondering why we're
that
waiting
Neo
a year
get
for
pushed out.
Neo.
I
Why are
agree.
we still waiting a
I
year
agree.
for Neo for an exclusive?
I totally agree. I would like to see them push that out sooner for sure, but
And they may. I mean, we've seen other stuff popping up supposedly within the window, but sooner. So
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's taking longer because, like Sean said, they got to do the tailoring for the clothes, and then we got to think
Yeah,
they're
but no one's gonna-
changing the head sculpt with him. If you look at it, it's not 100% the cyberpunk head sculpt. Like it's the face, but they changed the hair. They made
it
the
looks
hair look
better
more.
than the cyberpunk one
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
the hair actually looks like feathered, and it looks like Keanu's actual long hair, not something they just slapped together.
Yeah, totally agree. Let's see. That's very kind of you, Thick Bantha Boy. I hope you're doing well. Thick Bantha Boy says top stream of the week. Wow, that's quite an honor. I appreciate that, dude. It reminds me of the huge Prime 1 $1,500 statues where the base is bigger than the character. Yeah, it's the year of the base right now for these Marvel figures. That's kind of like the common theme with all these new Iron Man releases is this diorama base. I mean, and also like Wolverine too, but the Wolverine one is really cool. I got to be honest with you. That Wolverine one is in a class
or the
of its
Mysterio
own.
Iron Man. Don't forget that was like one of the first ones kind of we had this year.
And that one
of the
actually
crazy bases.
Yeah, interestingly enough, with that one got done by a third-party company because of all the lighting effects and everything. But yeah, it is kind of the year of the diorama base, which, I mean, maybe is a good thing and a bad thing. Obviously, we're sick and tired of the same old plain bases. That's why I really liked that Arena Boba Fett base, even though it was kind of plain. It was just something different. And you don't, in terms of display bases, you don't really see different too often. What's up, Chief? How you doing, Chief? Chief says, Sideshow won't send the Chrome Stormtrooper to Australia. Once again, it's all about America when it comes to Sideshow, starting to be like Hasbro. Dude, being that I'm from America, I never like to see any collectors alienated, so I'm really sorry to hear that. I don't know why they wouldn't be giving some to Pop Culture. I feel like when they do these exclusives, Pop Culture should be included in that because obviously they are the official distributor in the Australian area. So I'm really sorry to hear that. You guys kind of have it rough right now with Hot Toys, especially with the whole battery situation. They're still kind of figuring all that out. Though it is good to see that Hot Toys is starting to make figures that will be available to ship to Australia without any issues whatsoever, being that they all have USB power now. So I definitely feel for you, dude. I can't imagine being in that situation, wanting to buy a collectible, and you don't have the opportunity to. It definitely sucks. So I'm really sorry to hear that. Let's see. Pate, what's up, bro? How you doing, Pate? Hope you're doing well, man.
What up?
Stick to the old tried and true that it's blame Canada.
There you go.
Canada is responsible for Australia's problems.
There we go. Blame. Yeah, you guys remember South Park? Blame Canada.
and specifically Quebecers, French Canadians.
We're just joking, guys. We're just joking.
Yes, we are just
buddy.
joking.
Hey, guy. Let me talk to you
guy.
for a minute, buddy. Hey,
You sound like Waluigi.
Hey, I knew what he was going for.
Hey, buddy.
Pate says the arena base is a nice centerpiece. Got his ESB Bobo on it. Yeah, dude, I love to do that. I like to mix and match bases from other figures. That's why I'm getting 2 of the deluxe Bespin Lukes. Is I'm going to take those bases and give those Bespin floor bases to Boba Fett and Lando. I'm really excited for that because it's gonna make my display look really, really nice behind Vader. So yeah, I love doing that. I love mix and matching stuff for sure. Clone Trooper, how you doing? He says a bunch of Q3 figures are now getting delayed because Hot Toys factories have been busy making these summer exclusive. That's very true. The thing is, too, with these summer exclusives is being that they ship instantly, it's very easy for them to build up money to purchase other things and put out other releases. So I'm not surprised that they're doing a lot of these like simple releases because that helps them build up funds to do other things. Obviously, it does get frustrating for a lot of people because we have plenty of Iron Man and Spider-Man and Stormtrooper figures on the market already, but at the end of the day, it's not going to go anywhere. They're going to continue to do these repaints of many different characters, including Boba Fett. So just kind of hang in there and be excited for what stuff interests you. And for those people that are interested in these and are excited about these, kind of let them have their fun, you know? Me personally, I do like a lot of these releases. I will be grabbing all of these Shanghai exclusive figures that are now making it to Sideshow. But I totally understand it. Trust me. I totally get it. It's one of those things, you either like it or you hate it. There's no in between because a lot of people are sick and tired of getting the same stuff. But unfortunately, that's just part of the Hot Toys and really the 6-scale market in general, the 6-scale hobby in general. I think you're going to see some of these other companies start to do more reissues as well. It's just a matter of when. Because again, it's how these companies raise funds very easily because they're just reusing molds and putting something out again as opposed to paying money to develop a figure and develop a new mold. They're like, hey, we could just reuse a mold, and they're going to buy it because, look, there's so many Iron Man fans. So I totally understand your points, but that's just how it is, unfortunately, right now. But yeah. Again, I am excited for this one, being that I didn't own the Mark 46, and I think that's a big part of the conversation with these 2.0s, these 3.0s, these reissues is it gives collectors an opportunity that didn't previously own these figures to have a stab at these figures at retail. Now, does that mean that every figure should be reissued and or 2.0, 3.0? No. I've said this before. I feel like there is a happy medium. Like there are certain figures that are kind of showing their age and they need a once-over. The example I always love to use, because I'm really hoping we get another version of it, is the Winter Soldier, the first release Winter Soldier with the goggles and the mask and everything. Obviously, that figure has terrible pleather, and it's kind of plaguing a lot of collectors as it's falling apart, has been falling apart over the past couple years. So I would love to see a new issue of that one. But again, that's a figure that needs to be done again. Even collectors that currently own that figure, being that theirs are falling apart before their eyes, of course, they're like, yeah, give us another one because I would love to get another one that's not going to fall apart on me. So there are ways to do it where you don't anger everybody by doing it. Black Panther, I think, is a perfect example. That new Black Panther Legacy figure, they completely redid that figure from the ground up, and they threw in a head sculpt and some new accessories, and I think that's the way you do it. Don't just give us the same thing we had before. You got to improve on it. You got to improve the details. They improved the body on that one, so that's my opinion on these reissues and these 2.0s. It has to be done right. The Mark V is probably the more disappointing reissue they've done recently because you're just giving us the same figure that's currently in stock and people may have recently just purchased, and you're throwing it a base, and it's like, that's not good enough, you know? But I understand why they do it. It's just I'm not a huge fan of that one in particular. But yeah, this figure is looking really good, guys, and I think the articulation is about what you can expect from an Iron Man figure. We're going to move on from this guy. What do I have next for you? Oh, so I did want to touch on this guy briefly since we haven't seen him. It sounded like an angry dog. What was that?
What
Was that
the
a
heck
dog?
was that?
That was me rolling my tongue. It was supposed to be a drum roll, but I didn't want to be too loud, so it came out.
I was looking away. That literally sounded like a growling dog.
Like,
Just don't.
Need a young priest
Just
and an old
L's
priest.
for this week for me.
Don't give him another taste of it, Chris. We got it the first time. We're sorry it didn't work out, but it's okay. Thank you for it's the thought that counts. Thank you for the thought. but guys, here we go with the stealth suit cap. I kind of wanted to take a quick look at him again to kind of get myself back hyped up again for this figure. Seeing as does anybody here know how far away New York Comic Con is? Anybody? CMB? Do you know?
October, isn't it?
October.
First week of October.
Okay, so that's not too far off then. I mean, that very well could be what they're saving this for, and I could see them doing an in-person release at New York Comic Con because obviously they've done that in the past. I mean, heck, they just did it recently at D23. They did the in-person release for the Spidey. So
October
maybe that's what they're
6th
waiting
through
for.
the 9th.
Probably another event you would go to and not invite me, you know.
October
That's what
6th.
you do.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah,
Chris,
October 6th through the 9th.
that was an honest mistake. 6th through the 9th. Okay, so that could make a lot of sense that they're gonna throw this one down at New York Comic Con and maybe they'll sell them in person. I don't think it will be exclusive to the con if they do that, but that would be good timing for them to release it then. Andrea says he has the 47th, so I think I will skip this. Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same thing, just with different paint. For me, with the Mark 46, it's more so the moments from Civil War. I do love how the suit looks, but it's the moments that I really appreciate. I love that swap out chest with that cracked arc reactor, because obviously that's when Cap shoves his shield and kind of disables Tony so he can't fight any further. And I think that was a really emotional scene. So definitely really cool that he includes that. That kind of makes me want to buy the figure quite a bit. So let's see. Zombie says the same concept as the new stealth suit. I think the Cap definitely needs a revamp, and it has a gnarly Infinity Gauntlet, which is cool. Yeah, so perfect example. Thank you for reminding me. Like, this is another case where the original stealth suit, the proportions were off. The tailoring wasn't the best because the fitment on the suit was kind of loose. And as you guys know, like, this is what Cap is supposed to look like. It's a kind of a form-fitting suit. He's a muscular guy. Because of that super serum, it's supposed to be kind of like a form-fitting suit. So I would agree with you. I think the stealth suit definitely could have used a revamp, and I'm glad they did. Obviously, we have a beautiful head sculpt here with great proportions. And I think the kind of the shining star of this one, like you mentioned, is that Infinity Gauntlet. Let me kind of move us around here so we can see that.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Yeah, this is beautiful, man. I think they absolutely knocked this out of the park. I hope this looks just like it does here in person, because if it does, I'll be a happy camper. But this is really cool because obviously in the scene that we see this in, this is when they chop Thanos' arm off. And unfortunately, they get the bad news that he used the stones to destroy the stones. And that is what sends them on their mission to recover the stones. And obviously, eventually, they travel back in time. But we won't get into that. You guys have seen the movie. But
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Hey, if you guys haven't seen Endgame at this point, I guess you're just not a Marvel fan, because obviously it's been out for so long, which is understandable.
They're waiting on Loki to come out before they watch it.
Oh,
that'd
be an interesting tactic.
That's like spoiler going to watch Lawrence of Arabia and saying, "Hey, guess what? The British helped win. You know, the British and everybody helped defeat the Turks in World War I."
Right.
Like, no kidding.
That's crazy.
Some people bought this figure just for this gauntlet.
Yeah.
Oh, so right here, interesting. Soul Nightmare, how you doing, by the way? He says it does. He got it from Pop Collectibles. The gauntlet is huge. Yeah, I mean, so Soul, would you say in person it looks just as good as it does in the photo? Like, you think the details kind of on par and the weathering and such? Because this is very impressive to me. I think they did a great job. Yeah, they do need to make a Farmer Thanos. That would be really cool. I've seen a lot of customs, and some of them are better than others, but that was a figure I would definitely really like to see. But I unfortunately, I think we've kind of passed that era. Unfortunately, no more Thanoses. But to be fair, they did give us 4 Thanoses. So I think I could live with that.
So what do you think the price point is going to be for this guy? $260?
Interesting question. So
300.
300.
Higher for Marvel, yeah. I say that too.
Head sculpt, and it has the gauntlet. I'm going to say 295. That's my guess. Just under 300.
Well, if you're considering getting that, since if you're looking, this is because seeing this one, this is one I may consider getting.
Look at those proportions. You got to get it, Wayne.
Yeah, I would consider, but he would maybe help convince me, because I'm deciding between getting Cable or the Winter Soldier from Falcon. I might get Winter Soldier, because those two
over
together.
Cable. Do you have Deadpool?
No.
Yeah, I would get Winter Soldier then.
I'm getting one of them to go against Taskmaster.
Yeah, Winter Soldier would be cooler in my opinion. As much as I love that Cable, obviously, if you had Deadpool, I'd be like, yeah, dude, you got to grab Cable. But if you don't have Deadpool, I would get the Winter Soldier. He's just going to fit with the rest of your collection more. And you have plenty of time. Cable's not going up in price anytime soon, so if you change your mind, you can always grab Cable. Interesting. So Matt says he made the mistake of bending the right arm of the Winter Soldier for a couple of weeks. The stitching came undone. Yeah, dude, there's nothing worse than these Grail figures kind of falling apart on you. I haven't had that happen to really many of mine. I did have some pleather crack, not flake, but crack on my Chewy bandolier. I did end up repairing it, and you can't even tell. But that's such a bummer, man. That's why I'm really happy that Hot Toys is starting to use better materials for the most part. Because obviously, like, we pay all this money, we want it to last. I mean, some of these figures that are having these pleather issues, they're less than 5 years old, and it's like, come on, that's not good enough. I hope eventually it's kind of all all leather, or like that plasticky material, kind of like what they used, the plasticky cloth hybrid material they use on like Hawkeye, Ronin, for example.
Yeah, that's my only concern with the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, is that jacket?
Yeah,
definitely
so that's
a point for concern.
That's why I was considering Cable, because it doesn't have that stuff. And honestly, I think the Cable figure is cooler just with all the stuff it comes with.
I would
and
agree with that
everything.
personally. I would agree with that.
And my whole setup is a multiverse setup, so you're seeing lots of different characters who wouldn't clash in the movie. So this is just Cable getting sucked out and going like, well, this person looks dangerous. I better attack him.
Right.
Or I gotta-
The Cable's really cool. Mine's actually on the way. I'm really excited to get that.
My Throne Bubba comes tomorrow.
Wow. Damn. We just missed the live unboxing for the Throne Boba from Lane on the channel. Now you know what that means? Lane's going to
He's gotta
unbox it
hold
somewhere
it.
else.
No, he's got to hold it.
He's going to unbox it somewhere else. That's what he's going to do.
Well, I do have a channel
Poophead
which
Lane.
is normally where I unbox stuff.
Poophead Lane.
Yep. But have any? Well, we'll get to it here in a little. So you guys all think 290 somewhere between like probably 285 to 300.
Yes, I think
Range, probably.
that's the range. Up 285 to 300. Me personally, I think 295 is my guess.
But it'll be. I think this is
'Cause
well.
let's-
I mean, if you think about it, if you're considering maybe waiting for this one, or this is maybe because, like we talked about price point, this guy is going to be kind of the one in the middle, and this
Right.
is a really. It looks like this is you have some really good Captain Americas recently. That's the only problem, maybe in the last year or so, that have come out.
The problem. Yeah, the 2012 cap, the normal endgame cap, the main suit.
Yeah, so you have the sort of the problem with this figure if you're deciding to get this guy is you have two other options, which they're different looks. Like you can say all three are different looks from each other, but if you have one of those, or you would you're going eeny meeny miny mo. Given if like say this guy's 295, it does have the Thanos Gauntlet.
Yeah.
But the other one's 274, the other one's 259, and they all have a unique item with them. One Cap's got Mjolnir, one's got Loki's staff in the case, and then this one's got the. So they all come with something kind of it's not just Cap and his shield. They all come with something
unique.
kind of cool.
Yeah, that kind of sets them apart. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. SJC said we'll get a King Thanos in the future.
Yeah.
Come on, a beard and a crown, dude. Yeah, that King Thanos picture that people were passing around, I'm like, that's so badass. I would love to see that figure for him.
That is Thanos from Thanos Wins.
Yeah, and that would be really cool to have.
Storyline from the last Thanos comic, where Thanos, like young Thanos, gets pulled into the future, where he meets King Thanos, who actually won and like literally killed all life in the universe to try and get Death to finally marry him.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty badass. In my opinion.
That's what introduced. If you guys ever saw Cosmic Ghost Rider, it was Frank Castle, the Punisher, got turned into a Ghost Rider, and then realized everybody on Earth was dead until Galactus came and gave him the power of Cosmic, and they both attacked
Is it
King
the foot up his
Thanos.
ass?
Yeah, well, Thanos killed Galactus with one shot, and then literally turned Thanos.
Talk about OP.
Yeah, well, Thanos literally turned Galactus's helmet into his castle. So that's where his throne room and stuff is.
That is
And
pretty
he
cool.
he would basically have the
And the Hulk is his pet. Keep
Yeah.
him on a dog leash.
Yeah, he literally the guys this is things we wish we could see in the MCU, but we never will.
Nope.
Thanos literally has the penance stare, which is supposed to like make people relive all their sins and everything and punish them. King
Kills
Thanos
anything and everything, basically.
Yeah. King Thanos would basically make the Cosmic Ghost Rider blast him in the head every morning so he could wake up feeling all the trillions of souls he had killed and feel all of them to help him wake up in the morning. That's what Thanos would do.
Sounds like a dude that has some issues, man.
Yeah.
Martin, what's up, bro? Martin, when are you hopping in on stream? We need you, dude. We need your comedic relief. But yes, as
Dude,
Martin says.
imagine being a cosmic being like the Ghost Rider, and your life is only amounted to becoming an alarm clock.
Pretty much. That's what he was.
That's a little sad, isn't it?
But
imagine having all those cosmic powers and knowing that Mace Windu will not come until 2025.
He cannot make
No. Mace Windu just come at the end of this year, guys.
Oh, let me.
Yeah.
You know what's actually interesting too is the ultimate threat that both Thanoses had to face. You guys may have seen sometimes some of the like custom statues of like the black skinned Silver Surfer. The ultimate threat, because one of the only living things left in the universe was a black-skinned Silver Surfer who would become what was called the Fallen. He spent like thousands of years becoming worthy to wield Mjolnir. So he's got that and the entire Annihilation Wave, which was under with Annihilus from the Negative Zone. So he brought both of them together to finally try and fight the Fallen. And it was like the most OP version of Silver Surfer ever. And then they win, and then Death finally shows up, and Thanos is like, "Hey, you're finally gonna marry me, huh? It only took you like 10,000 years to finally acknowledge that I killed everybody in the universe." And then she just kind of went. Young Thanos says, "I'm never gonna become you." Goes back in time, and then King Thanos realizes his timeline's being undone.
Poor
And he
King
never existed.
Thanos.
Yep.
Poor King Thanos. Spoiler alert. But no.
From a comic story from 2019, I think.
Yeah, dude, that's quite a spoiler. No, I'm just joking. But real quick, guys, if you haven't already, please drop a like on the stream. I would really appreciate it. And also, if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Just a couple clicks away.
Hulk smash it.
Yeah, Hulk smash it. King Thanos, courtesy of Lane. King Thanos smash it.
There you go. It was that a
smashed
Halo
everything.
avatar he had. It looked like it.
Yes, it was. And of course, guys, again, 50 likes, and I will keep bugging Lane about the beard. Whether he wants me to or not, I'm going to keep bugging him. 50 likes. Oh, that is really cool. Look at Chris over here.
Yeah,
Wow,
Kevin
that's cool.
picked this up. So the Legendary Edition, he got the helmet long time ago, and then he found this at like a video game store. That's like cartridges or something. He got $15, and the original thing was like.
It's unfortunate that Halo now has gone down the crapper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
and then the whole season 2 of the show and everything. I know everybody's.
Well,
super
no, I
excited
meant
about
Halo Infinite, the game.
The
I give a
game,
shit
the
about
game
I give a
too,
shit
but
about it.
even the
said-
show, like
I told his brother that game was going to suck, and he didn't believe me, and he finally admitted.
Wow,
after he
Nebula
played
is still
it.
in stock.
Yeah, so we're taking a look.
No,
at
they
this.
She just
they
came
found
on.
A couple,
She
they
got
found a
back,
couple more.
and she's
Well, no,
been sitting.
I knew. I meant since she came back. I'm surprised that she's
yep,
still
she's
there.
still sitting.
Yeah, she's still there.
Yep. Sold Nightmare real quick as we're moving on from Cap. He says the straps and the belt are vinyl-like material on this with a leather print on top, which is really
Wow.
cool. That's what you want to see. As long as it looks the part, I'm fine. It doesn't have to be pleather. It doesn't have to feel like leather. You know what I mean? And then Matt says he kept his figure static for years, no cracking or flaking, bent the arm to do something different there. Yeah, so dude, I'm really careful with my figures. The Chewbacca, I think that bag is just such thin pleather. When I was moving him out of the case to do some dusting, I think maybe just from me squeezing it and grabbing it, it cracked. Again,
That's
it
what
wasn't
she
like
said.
significant, but yeah,
Exactly.
that's what
yeah,
happens. Man.
but see, your story has a positive thing because I heard from Kevin. So when I got mine, I was literally like, so
Yeah.
delicate with it.
Eventually, I'll probably find a replacement somewhere, or they're like G-Wiz Customs. What they do is they'll basically use the original bandolier and sew real leather over the pattern. So it's literally the original one just upgraded. I may do
pretty
that
cool.
eventually. But I repaired it, and I like filled in the little damaged spots with leather paint, and you can't even tell. I think I personally did a good job on the repair. So
Okay, I just heard a sound there. Does somebody have like Bob Ross painting in the background there? Because I just heard the
sounded
clanking
like a
sounded like
dog.
it. It
Sounded
sounded
like
like
a dog.
it sounded like Bob Ross when he would
That
clank
would be
his brush
Sean's
and
dog.
stuff.
yeah, it sounded like a dog to me.
Dog.
I could be wrong.
Guilty.
Dog.
But yeah, guys, so this is our last chance page currently. For those of you that didn't catch it, the Hulkbuster came back yet again. So now that is now the second time that he sold out and came back and then sold out again. So if you didn't get the Hulkbuster at this point, you either didn't have the money now or you just couldn't commit because of the size and the cost amount. I totally get it. But for those of you that were waiting and you kind of made up your mind after it sold out the first time, congrats if you're able to pick it up. That one is still selling for under retail, so don't be worried if you didn't get a chance to pick it up yet due to various amount of reasons. You will be able to get it for under retail for a little bit. As you guys know, the market is still kind of repairing itself, so a lot of this stuff on the secondary market doesn't go for over retail, unfortunately, especially the Diecast Iron Man stuff. So, but yeah, this is what we're looking at on the last chance page, guys. We do have now Doc Ock, Gilgamesh, and Green Goblin on the last chance page. Again, more pre-orders that are still up for, or more figures that are still up for pre-order are hitting this page. Now, I will say these are the standard versions. You can see the deluxe. Looking at the Green Goblin here, the deluxe is still perfectly fine. But what does that tell me? Yes, the deluxe is still up for pre-order and perfectly fine.
No one cares about the
now.
normal editions in comparison.
But also here's my thought. Or should I say, when the standard collector edition sells out, will then people start pre-ordering the deluxe more, and then will the deluxe start selling out? We don't know yet. Yeah, we don't know yet because obviously this is kind of a new thing that's happening over the past few weeks. But this is very interesting. I could see the others being cut off because they were not only were they DC figures, but they were like kind of one-offs that a lot of people weren't picking up. But these are No Way Home figures. These are Marvel villains that everybody knows and loves. And when these first dropped, there was a tremendous amount of hype, despite the issues with the head sculpt on Doc Ock, which will be fixed. But there was a tremendous amount of hype for these. Now this one, I mean,
Gilgamesh has been bottom of the barrel man for.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody even remembered this guy until he showed up on this last chance page.
I think this is at least probably Sideshow. I'm starting to wonder if maybe how Sideshow is doing it with not all the figures, but certain ones like certain Spider-Mans, like the No Way Home Spider-Mans. They're probably going to get a lot of those. Whether they might cut off the regular editions eventually, but like the collectors and stuff. Is if Sideshow now is because all these guys have been available for a little while now for pre-order, at least several months, I think. Even like Gilgamesh and stuff.
Yeah, I think he's probably been like 5-6 months.
Yeah, makes me wonder if some of these figures that they're starting to do, if Sideshow is starting to maybe put like kind of a time frame where they're following figures now for seeing what the pre-order levels are for them, and once they maybe hit a set time that passes where the pre-order is available, that helps them kind of set, because these all figures take 1.5 to 2 years to come out. They let them be up for a while, and if they're most of these have at some point been towards the bottom of the barrel or even been on the all three of these either on or have been on the $20 coupon for on and off multiple times. So if they hit a certain time frame, they look at where the pre-orders are on the figure, and Sideshow may set just that this is where our cutoff is. Here's our number. That's the max we're doing. And if it goes waitlisted, then it's because they're not going to try and, like we were talking about, Cable theirs on the $25 coupon, which almost never has any pre-orders at all on it. It's all
he did go up a little bit when he first dropped in Hong Kong, but then he quickly went back down. Especially with all the crap people are talking about.
Yeah. Well, I just mean, though, maybe for some, especially some of maybe secondary characters, or just like where they've got multiple versions of it, like a deluxe and a regular, maybe they're starting to apply just for their own financial situation. Like, we're going to let them go up, and if they're bottom of the barrel for an extended period of time, that they might be just cutting off, kind of like, this is where we're going to finish, this is where we're done. Yeah. And then over time, they're just wearing those numbers down, so they're going to go eventually waitlist. And they might, obviously, with certain waitlists, we might have conversions when they come out, whenever over the rainbow that actually is. That's my theory, kind of, when I've been looking at something.
I think you're right, and I think it's interesting too. And I think we can kind of get an idea of the next contenders for this last chance page. Based
$20
on
coupon one.
Right, like the figures that they're throwing these special, specific coupons for, like the Captain Marvel Deluxe from the first film. I mentioned this one before, and then 2 weeks later they put up coupons for it. But the Spider Monkey suit, they put coupons on that one specifically for that figure. So I think those are the ones that are like, all right, I think it's time for you to go. You've been sitting for a while. Let's move this. I'm hoping they do that with the Scout Bike. I hope the Return of the Jedi Scout Bike sits long enough to where they're like, well, cool, let's throw a coupon.
The $20 coupon might as well for Star Wars be it for Star Wars might as well be the vehicle coupon.
Right,
it's about
exactly.
At least 2/3 of them are always vehicle. But like an example I would use maybe to keep your eyes, even though it's relatively probably coming within the window, it might come out. Is like one that's been on there for a while. I don't think if they're older, I don't think so. This is more from a certain time frame this year they're becoming available.
Right.
But I would say, like, for instance, maybe the swoop bike by itself, the Mando swoop bike.
Yeah.
Would I be completely shocked? I mean, that one's supposed to be within relatively, possibly the window.
That one, the
next
hype
5
died
months.
down on that one so fast. So I can
Fast.
absolutely see that one.
Well,
dropping
you've got some
early.
other bikes that are frankly kind of have more stuff to them. They're more expensive by a lot, but they also come with figures like the ARC bikes. Those are just
exactly.
cooler
And with
looking.
that stuff coming out, people may have
Or-
reevaluated and said,
yeah,
I don't
or
want that
you
swoop
have
bike anymore.
or you've got the Return of the Jedi swoop, which is I think is going to have problems selling anyway because the Mando swoop bike still hasn't managed to go bye to this day. But the Return of the Jedi one is like an iconic one, from
Right.
an iconic movie and
That's
kind of
the
vehicle.
bike. That's the bike.
Yeah,
That's what
the
that is.
the Mando one was from a funny scene and a cool scene if you
Say
like
it
that IG
louder for the people in the back. Say it again,
Sure.
Lane.
Hmm?
Say it again, Lane.
Say it
for
again.
the people in the back.
It's
Say
an
what
iconic-
again?
Iconic
Triple
scene.
dog dare you.
Yeah, for the people in the back, man.
Yeah, but I just
Iconic
mean-
bike.
iconic bike. So I mean, but even that one is probably going to have some issues selling.
And I hope
mean,
it
it's already
does
been on
because then
thing.
I can get a better discount.
Yeah,
on it.
well,
That's what
I
want.
understand it, but I'm that like I could see the swoop bike just because it's like I literally look at the $20 coupon now because like I just had one convert Wednesday or
Well, you got
Tuesday.
the email.
Yeah, because I just had added some points and stuff.
Right.
But I kind of and like I said, I don't know this for certain. This is just like kind of fan theorizing a little bit. But when we're starting to see things like Gilgamesh, I'm wondering for figures going forward. I don't think any we've got upcoming like Wenwu's been on there for forever, like that figure. I don't think we're going to see that guy necessarily because he's been available for a long time. I think it's more that this is a thing.
Right, they're cutting off
earlier
short-
this year.
Right, they're
or
cutting
something,
off newer
policy they put in.
pre-orders. They don't want to. They're looking at their roadmap and they're like, "Oh man, I don't want these to be." They're like, "We got to cut this off at some point. We can't just let all this stuff sit." And I think you're right. They're looking at
Like-
newer pre-orders. That's what they're looking at.
Like 6 months from now, could we be looking at? I don't know. I'll just use from a recent one. Like 6 months from now, early
King
next
Shark,
year.
like King Shark,
Yeah.
for example. I think he's probably on the chopping block soon too. I think we're going to
Yeah.
see him show up.
Yeah.
But it's the newer stuff for sure.
6 months from now, or do we need to maybe be, or I don't know. Let's say early next year, like January, February. Would we maybe want to be looking at, I don't know, Grand Inquisitor, like just as a recent one?
Yeah, I
or
was
something
gonna
like
say
that?
it'll be one or
Would we
Vader.
maybe- Yeah, I don't know about Obi-Wan or
I-
Vader.
here's the
maybe,
thing. With those, I think they're actually probably going to sell pretty well over time. I do. Now, and you'd be surprised. I think even Reva too, because I've seen a lot of people that are like, I don't like the character whatsoever, but I think that figure is so nice and it will look great with the others. I don't think those are going to have a problem selling. To me, what this is a lot of these figures that, for the most part, aren't selling well, and it is very interesting with these No Way Home villains. But like you said, it's like a lot of people. Who's going to get the Green Goblin without the glider? Like
it's
realistically,
multiple SKUs. It's the multiple
Right.
SKUs thing can get you
right?
too.
Right. I mean,
And what are
who's
they
gonna
gonna
get?
What are they gonna want more of?
Yeah, and I'm surprised
know-
about the Doc Ock because it seemed like a lot of people were like, "Oh, I don't need the nanotech arms. I don't need that." But clearly they did because obviously more people were putting in pre-orders for the deluxe version over the standard. But yeah, the Green Goblin without a glider, like most people are not going to do that because that's like
Unless
you
they
gotta
have no
the glider.
space whatsoever, or if there's
Exactly.
no point to getting the character. Like you can justify
Right.
Doc Ock and
I would agree. I
like
mean, I
Electro and
would never
stuff.
get the Green Goblin without the glider, never, because that is the Green Goblin with like
you
when
almost
see
might
him,
as
you
well
see him with
get the
glider.
Fiend or something like that, the third party one or something
is-
like
right,
that. If
it's-
it's cheaper price, if that's part of the reason why.
Right.
So
That's
have
what
a
I got,
different
and I'm
theory.
not picking up the Hot Toys one because of
Yeah.
it.
So I got a different theory on all of this. I think Hot Toys is looking at the minimum that they have to do for each contract that they have, including Spider-Man. So they're given and they're told, okay, you want to make from this movie, you have to do so many figures for this, or you have to produce so many Marvel figures for this year. Okay, these are the percentages from each movie that you can do from. And so I think that's why we had a Green Goblin and a Doc Ock regular version instead of deluxe versions, because it's easier for them to just do because they're already working on the deluxe anyways. And I think that's what they're doing, is they're maximizing their profit along with maximizing their minimum requirements to keep the license and to keep
That's a good
everything
point.
they can. And so that's why they're doing it. So the Eternals, I'm surprised Angelina Jolie's not on here.
And like King Shark too, like I said, like you would
Yeah.
think that these like limited figures that a lot of people aren't picking up, you would think they would kind of throw them up in pairs just to get them moving, you know?
And so they probably thought, okay, these are just going to be the 2 that we make from the Eternals, because this is the minimum of 2 we had to make according to Marvel for the license.
Yep.
And so we're obviously going to do Angelina Jolie because they already have her likeness rights anyways.
Yeah, we wanted the Tomb Raider figure. That's what we wanted. We don't care about that Eternals figure. We want Tomb Raider. Everybody, you know, that's what we want. We want the Tomb Raider Angelina Jolie, or we want the Mr. and Mrs. Smith Angelina Jolie. That's what we want.
And another thing too is they could be telling Sideshow, hey, look, we're only making this many.
Right.
And this is what you have to live with. So they could, just like, for example, the Coruscant Guard, Hong Kong is like, what was it, like only 400?
Right, but here we're spilling at the seams
Yeah.
of Coruscant Guards, yeah. They made a lot of them here, a ton of them.
So they could have just literally said, okay, we're going to do Gilgamesh, but we will only make 2,000 of them.
Right.
So how many are you willing to accept?
Yeah, very well.
And they could be like, we know we'll have at least 1,000. Do you want the other 1,000, or what do you want? And that could have been what it was.
Yeah.
Just my theory.
I agree. I mean, when you look at it that way, it seems very plausible. I mean, it's obviously it's hard to tell, and everyone on the panel is just speculating. I kind of want to hear CMB. I want to hear your thoughts on this too, because typically you have a good grasp of stuff like this. What do you think is going on behind the scenes with between Hot Toys and Sideshow? Do you think things are actually changing, or do you think this is a matter of like, oh, we just need to clear some inventory space out, let's move some of this stuff that's just sitting? I kind of want to hear your thoughts on it if you're here. I don't know if you're here or not because your mic's muted.
I think it's just a
You're
bunch
okay.
of multiple factors. I don't think it's just one set thing or just a couple things. I think there's just numerous factors that are coming into play that is showing basically what we're going through right now. Like a lot of it, I agree with Sean. Like they were probably contracted to be told like, hey, you got to make this many number of the normal versions and you got to make this many number of the deluxe versions. It could have been basically like maybe a minimum, and then obviously if the pre-orders exceeded that, then obviously that's a positive and they could go from there. But maybe some of these figures, it didn't even hit the minimum pre-order mark, and that's why we're seeing a lot of them hit up onto the site as far as like waitlisted or almost gone so quickly. Is maybe these figures didn't even hit that minimum that they're contracted for, and that's why it's going so quickly. And
so
then
you think if it doesn't hit that minimum, they're just dropping it off basically, and like, we're cutting it loose, we're done with it.
yeah, because at the end of the day, as a business, you know, if you're not even making the minimum pre-orders, then they see that as a loss in money.
Yeah.
You know, so they're now they're taking a hit, and as a company, how many hits do you take? So you're gonna have to cut your loss, recoup your funds. Yep.
Yeah.
And you know, even that, like, and then say you like even Sideshow. Let's say like you order like prime example the Mando. They ordered what 30,000 of them.
Yeah.
And like they're still sitting.
Yeah.
You know.
You mean
when you project something like that through hype, you expect when you order 30,000 figures, okay, it might sit maybe a year and a half longest because you're riding on the hype, thinking, oh, everybody's going to grab this up. It's going to go quick. We're going to make all of our money back.
Great.
Nothing. You know, it's going to be awesome. They can move forward. But when you get a figure that sits for 2+ years because you ordered so many, now even as a company, you're taking a loss because you're not making that money back. It's just sitting. So that's money that could possibly be made, or it's either money to be made or it's going to be money to be lost. Because at this point, in 2+ years, you could put something new on the shelf that could possibly sell out and then give you money. Where now you're just still taking a gamble on this figure that's sat forever.
Right. And going off what you're saying, perfect example with this comment, like a Captain Marvel Deluxe, they had her for 30% off and free shipping. They're losing money at that point. They've got to be. because I mean, look at their shipping costs. Look what it costs us, especially if you're on the East Coast, like some of us on the panel are. Shipping's getting expensive. So for them to discount the figure by 30% and give you free shipping, they're taking a loss on that figure, I feel. And if not, they're breaking even. They're very close to it, you know. So it's like, yeah, I think you're right. I think that's what they're going to do with a lot of this stuff, like the Night Monkey, like all of the other Spider-Man figures have been seeing, the homemade suit. We're going to start see them just kind of liquidating all that stuff, and they're just going to say, oh, we took a loss on that. Overall, obviously, the company is probably very profitable. But at the end of the day, I think what they're going to do is they're going to clear all this stuff out and chalk it up as a lesson learned. And moving forward, I think they're going to act differently. Now, CMB, I kind of want to start with you for this question too. Do you think this is going to change the way a lot of us collectors collect? Seeing these figures sell out in the pre-order phase, that like for me, for example, a lot of these figures that are starting to sell out, I had this stuff like on my wish list. That stuff like, okay, I'll look at this in a year and then say, okay, I think it's time to pre-order it, or maybe it's time to order it now that it's in stock. But a lot of this stuff, I'm like, well, I want it and it's about to sell out, and so I had to drop a pre-order. Like, so for me, I would say it absolutely changed the way I collect, because now, like, every day I'm checking this last chance page and I'm making sure that nothing I'm trying to buy is showing up on there. So I kind of want to hear your thoughts on that. Do you think for you personally it's changing how you collect, and how do you think it's affecting collectors as a whole, being that a lot of this stuff is selling out before it even goes in stock?
For me personally, no, it doesn't change the way I collect, because I have multiple sites that I can go to find these figures. So if Sideshow ever sells out, I have backups to backups to backups.
Right.
Now,
Makes sense.
that being said, though, like with like newer collectors who are just starting out, who are seeing these figures go quick, I feel that this is not a game, but at the end of the day, this is business standpoint. You're trying to attract customers, you're trying to get money in. So what's the best way to do that? You know, you create the FOMO.
Yep.
So that way you can get the funds generated. And I feel that that's what companies are doing. Not just Sideshow, not just Hot Toys. It's a lot of companies, but they're having to do that because of what's happened in the past couple of years, shipping disruptions, all of that, things stuck at the ports. These companies, perfect example, company had their summer gear ready to go, but it's been stuck at the ports, and now we're getting ready to going to
Yeah,
fall.
so it's too late now, and now they're
coming.
gonna have to sell it cheaper.
So now all those companies are finally getting those summer clothes that are released from the docks. When they come to the stores, these companies have to be like, well, we got to attract somebody to buy these. Now we have to drop it to 70% off or more, just to get people to buy it so they can recoup some of their funds. Right. A lot of the stuff that's factoring in is things that we don't really pay attention to as collectors. Like,
right.
We don't pay attention to things that happen across the pond in other parts of the world, like Asia, where we get these figures from. We have to pay attention to what's happening there, because what happens there affects us in what we're getting.
Down, yeah.
Like Shanghai, they just went on lockdown again for no reason. All the surrounding ports in the Shanghai area, they're all on lockdown too. So there's nothing coming in or out. That affects us because that's where Hot Toys and things like that are shipped out of.
Tremendously.
And then you come down and you look at us, railroad workers are going on strike as of Friday.
Really? I did not know that.
UPS and FedEx workers are threatening nationwide strikes.
I was just about to say that.
Chris,
no, dude,
it's
the West Coast port workers.
Don't go on strike.
The unions, they're 22,000 of them talking about they're going on strike. And that goes from SoCal all the way up to Washington State, all the ports. So, I mean, things like that, if you pay attention to it, then you can see what's happening. So why is everybody
going on strike?
They're getting, most things are because of what they're going on strike for now is, you're making them work crazy-ass hours. You're docking their pay.
Right, you're not paying them. That's the biggest thing.
Exactly. Things like that that's causing people to be like, well, why would I want, why would anybody want to work 96 hours straight, but you're only going to pay them 62 hours of pay?
There you go. Apparently they reached a temporary deal. We'll see if that deal lasts.
But all of these things factor into what's happening. Disruptions, strikes being threatened. on our side. Hell, they're talking about strikes on the other side too. So
Are
I
we,
mean,
are we suddenly becoming France?
there's
No, I
just
mean,
I
there's
hope
so
not.
many factors that go
No offense to
into
France, but I like the
all
US.
of this when it comes to collecting, when it comes to numbers, when it comes to how many items, how many things are going to be produced, because right now people don't realize too, like the factories, they're in China are working on skeleton crews of skeleton crews
Exactly.
because a lot of people don't want to go to work or because they're scared
They're
or they're
scared,
being
yeah.
told like out of nowhere, hey, your district's on lockdown. What?
Right.
Over there, they don't have a choice. They get told they're on lockdown. That's it. They're all on lockdown.
Yeah, and like we talked about on last stream, 1/6 Kit, a gentleman that runs that company, he had to stop shipping for a week because they locked down his area. It had nothing to do with his business in particular, but because there were some reported cases in his little district, they had to lock down the area. So it's absolutely happening everywhere.
Well,
And like you said, it is
if
trickling
anybody
down and
wants
affecting us.
Thanos still, there's one on Sideshow Seconds, armored Thanos, for $352.
There you go. There you go. Head over to Seconds if you want that Thanos. I want to say
But
what's
that I
up.
think and I think that just with the lack of factory workers, I think that is what's really affecting the numbers on figures being made.
Yeah.
Because if you have a minimal crew, then they can only work to make so many figures as opposed to you having a full crew. Let's say your full crew is used to making 30,000 figures in a year and a half. Now you have less than half of a crew. So that 30,000 is probably going to go down to something like, okay, we can only produce 12,000 figures. And that's if we're pushing it.
Right.
And if
Everybody
that
wants
You're
12,000
really
from home
figures,
now.
work. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's only going to continue, unfortunately. So it's like as people in the U.S., we need to kind of be more understanding of the whole situation. It's easy for people to go on like Facebook and complain like, oh, they're not putting out figures fast enough. They're not doing this, not doing that. If anything, it's like impressive how quickly they are putting out stuff and also kind of keeping up for the most part with a lot of the release dates, considering what's going on. Not only that, they're keeping up with that stuff, but they're also giving us day one releases in the U.S. So it's like,
that's why I don't fault them. Given
Right.
everything that's happening out there,
right,
still
you have to look at the bigger
producing and
picture.
giving us everything, like it is impressive.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I appreciate you for putting that in perspective because some of the people in the chat may have not known that. They may have not been. A lot of people don't follow world news, and I understand it. So a lot of people might not understand everything that goes into it and how it kind of trickles down and affects us in the U.S. directly. But yeah, they're moving things very quickly, and I'm surprised by it. Kumar, how you doing, bro? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. As always, you're never late if you're here. You're never late. We appreciate you no matter what time.
Running
you come
on
through.
wizard time.
Exactly.
You're good. Wizard time.
Exactly. Run on wizard time here. So we're gonna move on. So guys, for those of you who have not seen, we did get a exclusive figure for D23, the expo that happened over this past weekend. This figure is actually based on not only the comics, but they do have an Avengers campus location at the Disneyland parks. This is really cool to me, as you guys can see. We're all going crazy over this churro here. Kind of all of the exclusive accessories. This right here that you see in his arm, these are all of the D23 exclusive accessories. I think this is a really cool figure. I know this is another Spider-Man, but I don't think this is one of those Spider-Man figures where you're like, oh, another Spider-Man. I think for the most part, this is a very out-of-the-box release, and I think it's well thought out and well executed. I do have the figure right here, and I'll pull up my video in the background so you guys can kind of get a view of what the figure looks like in better detail. But I think this is a really cool figure. Cigars and I were lucky enough to get this guy through a friend who was at the expo. So Wolf Moon, I know you're not here right now, but if you end up watching the replay, once again, thank you so much for helping us out with that. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, he should be shipping out CMBs tomorrow.
But yeah, can't wait.
We're very, very excited about this figure, and I told CMB that I really was impressed by it, and he's like, dude, when I watched your video, now I'm even more psyched. So I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on it. I can honestly say I was very impressed by this release. I know that this figure is one that a lot of people are worried about because it was a D23 exclusive, but I will say it did show up on Sideshow's website and was taken down shortly after. So I think they put it up by mistake. But my thought on this one is, and I think everybody else in the panel would probably agree, being that they branded these accessories as exclusive accessories, the one that we get on Sideshow won't have this stuff here. But that's okay. I still think it's worth it without those accessories. I still think it's a very nice figure and a very cool concept. I mean, you're still getting the hoodie, the backpack, you get the spider bot. So it's like, it does come with some really cool stuff to where I'm like, yeah, it's still worth the money for sure. This did retail for $300 at the Expo. A little pricey considering it doesn't have a head sculpt, but I think I was pretty happy to pay that $300. Just because I was really excited for this figure. And I think CMB, you would probably agree. Obviously, you don't have it in hand yet, but I think $300 is reasonable. If it's something that you want, this is a really cool release.
Yeah, you paid $300 for a churro, let's be honest. That's what you really...
So, to be honest with you, initially, that's what drew me to the figure. I got to be honest with you, because I'm a fan of the Disney parks. I've been a fan of the Disney parks my entire life. So, being that I am only recently getting more into comics, that's what really sold this for me, is the connection to the Disney parks. That's what, and I love Spider-Man as a character, but that's what drew me to this figure, is the connection to the Disney parks. So obviously, yeah, the churro, I mean, for a lot of us, I mean, look, see, Martin here, he knows. He says, all hail the almighty 1/6 churro. Yes, dude, it's
I better come over and see it. Like in his hand.
Yeah, right. Soul Nightmare said got his off eBay for a decent price. If I can only have one Spider-Man, this is it until the final suit comes out. Dude, that final suit, it's going to be really, really nice once we get that in figure form. But dude, this one, the colors are absolutely incredible. I said this in my video, but I compare this to like the shelf presence to like the 2012 Captain America. Like, and Chris knows, like that, and Sean too, that figure has incredible shelf presence because those colors are just so bright and vibrant. And looking at this figure in person, I'm like, this is exactly the feeling I'm getting from this figure. Like, it's so bright and vibrant. This one is incredibly nice. I think the details are second to none, and I think the stuff that it comes with is really cool, and it's unique. I know CMB, we could share your thoughts briefly on it. Obviously, we know that you're going to end up getting this guy very soon in hand, but kind of what sold you on this figure when you first saw it? I know you're a comic guy, so was it the connection to the comics that sold you on this figure initially?
Well, it was that, and the fact that like how closely this looks to the classic suit, and the fact that the Hot Toys classic suit Spidey was kind of a miss, just because of the issues that it had, and then seeing this figure and then the posing that they had, it looks like it was more forgiving. And then the colorway, like I said, it reminds me of the classic suit, and it also reminds me of Tom Holland's suit at the end. So it's kind of like you get almost like a trio, because you're getting the what looks like the Tom Holland suit at the end, what looks like the classic suit, but then you also get the Avengers campus suit. So it's like 3 in 1.
A little bit of everything.
Like taking, and it was like them taking from the What If cartoon campus suit and then just bring it into a realistic standpoint.
Yeah.
So that's what really sold me. Plus, I dug the fact that, like, even if we didn't get the churro or the soda or anything, I really like the fact that they gave us the hoodie.
Yeah, it looks real good.
You get the full outfit, not like the Bodega Suit Miles where it was the hoodie, but if you lift up the hoodie, it's just a blank body under it.
Yeah, this is everything.
They didn't go the cheap route where they could have just literally just given you a suit and put the hoodie over Miles. I don't understand what the big deal. I don't know why they didn't do that, but whatever. But this one, they did that. They gave you the hoodie and you get the outfit and the backpack and all these little goodies for accessories. But for me, what really sold me was the fact that it's like that mixture of all three things: the Avengers Campus, the movie, and then the comics.
Yeah, when you put it that way, that makes it even cooler. Like, this is kind of like a jack of all trades release in a way. Like, it checks off a lot of boxes, I guess that's the best way to put it. This is really cool.
Exactly.
I mean,
what also
no, you're good.
got me is the gauntlets, like the bracers. What stood out to me about that is it reminded me of the Japanese Toho Spider-Man.
Yes, I saw some people saying that, and I saw like a comparison photo
Yeah.
on one of the
And
Facebook
that's
groups. I'm
what
like,
like
dude,
stood
it's
out to
so
me because I was
sick.
like, "Whoa, Hot Toys is that like them trying to do a little like Disney's little Easter egg to Toho Spider-Man?" Because supposedly he's gonna be in the next Spider-Verse because you saw him in the trailer,
Yeah.
like the blips when they were showing the other
Mhm.
Spider-Man, you could see Toho Spider-Man there.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be so cool. I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, this figure is incredible, and like the suit material as well. Obviously, with Spidey, the suit material is the biggest question, and I'm very happy to say that this is a primarily cloth suit. Obviously, you
Yeah.
still have to be careful, but it does pose really, really well. And you guys, and we're gonna pull up my video here, but I was posing him quite a bit, and it did heal very well. Obviously, when you have those decals on the shoulder that are pressed against the suit, if they're bent, they're gonna get a little crease in them. That's just the nature of the suit. But yeah, it's really, really nice. I kind of want to see a Churro Gate. Yes, this is the Churro Gate. The real Churro Gate is going to be when these churros start hitting eBay and we see what people are selling just the churro for.
Yeah.
OG, I don't know if you were here when I answered it, but yes, Sideshow will get this. I think just without this this group of exclusive accessories up here, I think that's the reason they say exclusive accessories. And also in some of the posts from Hong Kong, this was referred to as the B version, so I think the A version is probably what Sideshow's getting without those exclusive accessories.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's just good to see that mixture of fabric, like how we were guessing on Geeking
Yeah.
Out,
Yeah.
actually is true. That it is that fabric, forgiving type of material which allows you to pose. And then,
Yeah.
like I said, after watching your review and then seeing you pose and bend and do all that, that's what made me really excited for. I was like, yeah, now we're getting another Spidey, kind of like Scarlet Spider, where you
Exactly.
can actually
Yep.
get the posing and not be afraid.
Yeah, this
So
one
that's what
makes
made
me
me
really
really
happy.
excited.
Yeah, this one makes me really happy because of that. Because obviously, Spider-Man is one of those figures you like to put him in a bunch of different poses because he's a very acrobatic hero.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
That's how he's always drawn, man. He's always drawn
exactly.
doing crazy acrobatic stances.
Yep.
His poses are like always unique. Almost feels like they're trying to push it as far as they could, like with the human body posing in the ways that Spider-Man does pose when he does his things,
Yeah.
when he does all his maneuvering. So that's, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. A lot of people in the chat, and Zombie here, for example, is saying this is just as good as the Homecoming Deluxe. And for a lot of people, that's the best Spidey right now. As everybody loves that Homecoming Deluxe, but this one may be a contender. We have to see how he fares moving forward, but it's really, really cool. And Soul Nightmare here is also saying this suit takes what he likes from the Homecoming one and improves upon it, and it feels less kid-like. I haven't had the Homecoming suit in hand. I don't, unfortunately, I don't own that one, but like I said, this one is really, really nice, guys. The suit is very forgiving. I'll pull up my video here, and then Lane said he sent me some photos over. But let me pull this up here real quick. Let me skip past all of the crud in my video. Also, guys, I apologize if you've watched the video. I apologize if I didn't do a bunch of poses towards the end. I just got so burnt out this day when I was filming this video because Cigars knows, like, I'm like, dude, the moment I get this figure, I'm reviewing it because him and I were just like hype drunk over this figure. So I really wanted to get the review out same day when I got it. So I didn't do too many poses at the end, and I know it's Spider-Man. It's a little sacrilege that I didn't do that. So I apologize for that, but I do think the video turned overall, I think it turned out okay. I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm very happy with the figure. Let's see. Steve Conrad, how you doing? He said, awesome looking figure. Weird it doesn't come with the webs. Yeah, well, this is kind of all we got here in terms of accessories. You can see I have all the accessories laid out here. I do think it's enough. Do I think the figure is a bit pricey because it has no head sculpt for $300? Yes, but it is a convention exclusive, so I totally understand it. And I do think for what you get, it's a pretty fair value. I don't know if you guys have seen, but this figure is selling for quite a bit on eBay, which is unfortunate. People are reselling the crap out of this figure. We saw a photo of this guy walking out of the con with a big bag of Spider-Man figures. I know that picture is going around. So,
hey, so I saw in the pics it didn't have the webs or whatever, but in your video you have it. And if I wasn't paying attention, did you say that you added those to this
No.
review? Or
These are the
yours?
webs that it comes with. I think he's referring to something else. These are the webs that it actually includes. Unless he is confused, I'm not sure. But I thought he was referring
No,
to something
because
else.
somebody else said that, and somebody commented on that Facebook post too, because it isn't listed in the.
Okay, well, guys, these webs do come with it. I did. Yeah, can you imagine? I put up the.
Yeah, that's
and I
why
was like,
some people are mad.
I was the first one to put up this review, and can you imagine I like threw people off like that, and I just threw those in. But yeah, no, guys, he does come with these webs. You can even see it. If we go back for a second here, you can see it in the box, I think. Yeah, you can see them right here.
Yeah,
So I didn't add those. Yeah, they're there. So don't be too worried,
Well,
guys. It
I
does come with these
figured
webs.
that, but then that was the second person I saw that it didn't have webs. So
Oh, okay. So Steve was just talking about the webs. I thought you were referring to something else. My bad. But yeah, he does come with the webs. Don't worry. It is the same webs we get every time, but still, he includes them. Eric says he likes all the accessories this Spider-Man, as long as you're if you pay. Excuse me. Well, I can't read whatsoever. As long as you don't pay a ridiculous amount of money for it, why not? Can always use other head sculpts. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, especially if you have that upgraded suit, a lot of people have that upgraded suit with the mask sculpt on, so you can absolutely steal the head sculpt from that one. I like to do that a lot. Like, and we were talking about the bases earlier. I love to mix and match stuff. It's nice when you build up a pool of accessories because they may not work for the figure when you first purchase it, but it may work for something else, you know? So it's really cool to do that. How many of you guys have actually been to the Avengers Campus experience at Disneyland? I have not yet actually ever been to Disneyland. I'm a Disney World guy. I've been going to Disney World my entire life, but I love following like Disney history and Disney current events and everything that's going on at the parks. So I'm no
going in
stranger to
April
this, but
for
yeah, dude,
honeymoon.
I'm jelly. You're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm gonna go back soon for sure. Sean, I haven't heard from you in a bit. I know you were kind of interested in this figure when it first dropped. Do you see yourself grabbing this when it lands on Sideshow? Nice, dude. Sounds good, man.
Good answer, Sean.
Lane. Sean, obviously, Sean is not here at the moment. Lane, are you interested in this figure at all?
No.
Do you think it's cool?
I think the accessories look cool, but $300 for that figure, I went nope.
Yeah.
I
It is
did.
pricey.
I did ask because I wasn't sure if it was just a D23 or it was a limited run also selling at the parks. I held Professero, Mario. I'm like, hey, are you going to the parks? Anything? Can you check to see if they're selling the Spider-Man? And I'm guessing he probably had like 30 people probably already had messaged him on Facebook that day.
Oh, I'm sure.
And he said, that's only a D23.
Right.
And I was just
right.
like, okay, yeah, well, I wasn't sure or not.
So you
But
can see-
I think like the backpack, seeing what you did and everything is like really cool. But it's just the only other Spider-Man I'm interested in is Tobey Maguire. Like that's the only one
that's
that
gonna be
exists
that's
to
gonna
me.
be like the big Spider-Man release for me is Toby. Now this
Yeah.
again, this is really nice. You can see here too. I just wanted to mention this, guys. Mine had some QC issues. Some of them I didn't notice until after I stopped filming the video. You can see this backpack, my logo here, my
Yeah,
web
there
logo
was
was
a little
peeling a little bit, which is unfortunate. Also, the textbook, which is an exclusive accessory, the corner was like peeling completely, and you could see it in the video. You'll see when I pick it up, and I did not notice it on camera. When it comes to small defects like that, sometimes I could look past it, but other times I'm like, dude, I can't unsee it now. The backpack, I'm like, it's whatever. I could see that getting kind of roughed up over time as he's wearing it, but this backpack is really nice. You know how sometimes Hot Toys zippers are like completely crap? The zipper on this one is actually really, really nice. You can see it unzips very easily. You don't need fishing line to pull it like you did with the Hawkeye suit and stuff. This is a really, really nice backpack, and the straps are fully adjustable as well. Absolutely, Matt. Thank you for watching. Maybe one day I'll do like a posing extravaganza. I'm not like a top tier poser, but I think I have an okay idea on how to pose things. Even though you look at some of my figures and they're in very basic poses, but that's mainly due to me wanting to keep the longevity of the figure.
I guess I would say for this, for the figure itself, honestly, is I think the Spider-Man this year, like not since Classic Suit came out and stuff, because I still think that's my favorite.
Yeah.
That to me, except for the bunching can happen, as I've had it happen with mine a little bit. Honestly, the Spider-Man I've been most impressed with recently, leaving out because we still haven't got the No Way Home ones. Those are still a little ways off yet next year. This year was the Miles 2020. I actually think the light up features for that and everything are really cool.
Yeah.
Like that's been the Spider-Man figure I've been most impressed with. But I think the accessories for this one, when I first saw it, I was like, "What the heck is this?" kind of thing, you know. But I think they did a really good job with the accessories enough to make this kind of a unique Spider-Man. Obviously, I was kind of like, okay, kind of looks all right and whatever. But maybe because I haven't been to the Avengers campus or something like that, I might have had a different opinion.
Could be,
if I had
yeah.
actually been there.
It would make it more like sentimental.
But I'm not going to say it's like it's a trash release or anything like that. I would actually say probably in comparison to some of the exclusive figures that we've had this year, because we've had a crap ton recently, I would probably say this is one of the better ones. Quite honestly,
I think so too. And again, after getting it in hand, I was very impressed.
You know,
Lane, do you find this interesting that this base does not have a name on it?
yeah,
I thought that was so bizarre.
Even some of the ones like, I mean, the Boba Fett still, the Boba Fett, which is a weird base, like nothing like any of the other Star Wars ones we've seen, still has his name on it. Just
yeah, I thought that was so bizarre. Maybe they forgot, or it just got rushed out, and they're like, it doesn't matter.
We got to have
it
it by.
really cool.
This is one of the things I could see it just being a little bit rushed because it's like we have to have it by blank date, and I mean, this was almost a little bit. What Spider-Man suit do we have available that would fit for this?
That's true.
But they still put enough time though into it to make sure that. Now I don't know about the individual figure. There might have been some QC like you pointed out with some of
some
them.
minor stuff, but I would say that you're right on point
Yeah.
there. They did put some time into this release. I
But
think.
but how about since you already were asking Sean before, since he's back now, you can go ahead and get.
Yeah, let me touch on a couple comments, and then we'll now that Sean's back, we'll get his thoughts. So DJN, how you doing? DJ says, I honestly hope some third-party company makes some of these exclusive figure accessories if they release the standard figure at some point. So I do think they will be releasing that standard figure sooner than later. There was a guy on Facebook who said he's going to be 3D printing churros, so maybe I'll pick up some extra churros from him. Maybe you can grab some churros yourself. I feel like that's what people want the most out of these exclusive accessories is the churro. The book is really cool, despite mine having a few QC issues. Basically, every page is different in the book, so that's really cool. So Steve actually said he has been to the Avengers campus, and he said it's really cool. It's not super big, but it has cool character shows, and the Spider-Man ride is awesome. Yeah, dude, I'd love to go at some point. I have to make it out to Disneyland one day for sure. Like I said, I typically go to Disney World, but they don't have an Avengers campus there because of the whole Universal thing. But I would love to make it out there. Yes, the Spider-Bot is from the ride, and it's part of the story, yes. But Sean, now that we know that this is going to end up on Sideshow at some point, is this something you're going to end up picking up, despite it not having those exclusive accessories, like the churro and the soda and everything?
So, I don't know. I'm just looking at Marvel, and I mostly collect Iron Man from Marvel, but there's a few things I do like the stealth suit, Captain America. I'm going to get that. I was contemplating on buying this before, but because I do like it. I have the classic suit Spider-Man.
Right.
And that's not... for some reason, I was thinking they were a lot similar, but I watched your video last night, and I noticed a lot of differences between the two suits. Especially, It looks like the material is a lot different.
Yeah, I think the reason a lot of people are comparing those is just kind of like the colors, and being that this is like a comic accurate suit, people are like, oh, this is kind of like a stand-in for that classic suit. And I would tend to agree. Like, I said this in my video, but I'm like, I might not grab the classic suit now because I really do like this figure, and it kind of fills that void for me. I don't know if it's going to be the same for everybody else, but for me, I'm like, yeah, that kind of fills that void.
Yeah, I would just put it in the same Besta that my classic.
Oh yeah, and they would look so good together, especially if you and like the Homecoming Deluxe, like all those figures. I know Riley's reviews. I know he put up a video, like a shorter review, and in his video he put a bunch of these suits together, and they looked really good together. But yeah, it's a very nice figure, and I think if you got it in hand, you'd probably be quite impressed, especially being that you have the classic suit, and that one does have some limitations to the posing due to the material that it's made out of. So I think you would like this one a lot. It's very posable and it looks incredible in person.
So
TK.
it's not a priority for me. I would
Yeah.
consider it,
Yeah.
but I think for Marvel, it's just Iron Man. I mean, but I have a lot of stuff for coming right now because when the Mark IV War Machine posted from an Infinity War when it was back on Sideshow, I ordered that. When the Infinity War Thanos came on, I ordered that. And then everything else I have on order is all Iron Man or Tony Stark. But I did order the exclusive Jane Foster.
Yeah,
The
dude,
Mighty
I'm really
Thor.
excited for that figure. That's gonna be sick. I know a lot of people were like crapping on that one, saying it looks like a Marvel Legends figure, but I'm really excited. It's Natalie Portman, dude. Like, even if the figure is like kind of subpar, I'm happy to have a Natalie Portman figure in my collection. Let's be real. That's my girl.
But see, and I just watched Thor: Love and Thunder recent.
You better cut that out. Don't let your girlfriend hear.
I tried to watch
she
that.
knows.
I made it through about 40 minutes and had to be like, I'll come back later at the same starting point.
I liked the movie. It was.
I
yeah, it
liked
was
the movie
goofy.
too.
It was goofy, but it was fun. I liked it. I
Same.
know it's not your
I liked
style,
it.
Lane, but Lane,
No,
did you like
Oh,
Ragnarok?
hey, there you
Not
are.
my fa-
I loved Ragnarok. However, I didn't think Ragnarok was a great Thor movie. You have to understand it. I come at a lot of these characters from the comic, like for 30 years, 35 years, being in love with the comic versions and having. I am not the necessarily best MCU fan because I am coming in with certain expectations that I have for what the character would be like. So I love the churro though. That's fun. That's great,
watch
man.
me bend the churro, Lane. You'll love this part. Watch.
Yeah, you're just like I would have loved to see if you snapped it in half and you would have been like, ah!
Yeah, it's so funny. When I was watching it, I thought to myself, like, what if I snapped that churro in half? I would have just quit YouTube. If I snapped
It
the
would have
churro in
only
half, I would've
been the
quit.
figure would have only been worth 180 after that.
Zombie
Right.
raises
I
no
would've just
padme.
quit.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
I know, man. I know.
so I loved Ragnarok. Like that's one of the most entertaining MCU movies to me. But it's also to me such there are too many things like just killing the Warriors 3. You have to understand. I know the Warriors 3 as major characters and best friends of Thor, or Lady Sif just being discarded, and also she is, other than Jane, the main love interest for Thor. She's the Asgardian main love interest for him. Hell, Jane could have become her because Jane was the avatar for Sif for a long time too, like Donald Blake was for Thor. It's so I'm not coming in, and I understand why they didn't do all that. I mean, they're 2-hour movies and other stuff. Ragnarok at least was a little bit restrained with trying to balance out a little bit with kind of, and I put in quotes, serious story with Hela, but like I thought her character got underserved. I think Gore the God Butcher. I've already been told I'm not going to get enough Gore because he was the thing I was most interested in it.
Yeah. See, people overhyped him too. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's a better villain than Thanos," and it's like you're saying a lot.
Yeah,
You're saying a
No.
lot. Man.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, see, the thing is, you have to come in with. I mean, Thanos is the like one bad guy who kind of really had his own movie, which was literally Infinity War.
Really multiple.
I mean, where he was kind of honestly the main character, and it was kind of his story in certain respects was Infinity War, and. And then the original Thanos that we had built up kind of had his story arc and in the first part of Infinity in Endgame. I mean, we had the 24, but that's like the crazy psychotic evil guy. Like that's the ultimate evil version of Thanos, basically from back then, like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 time frame. But so I'm not. I think once I make it to the end of Love and Thunder, I think I'm going to be okay with the movie. But I think it's. What happens sometimes is the director was able to go just completely crazy with the comedy, which is what I think he does really well. But I was at my limit's end with Ragnarok on how much that I would accept in comedy, I would accept in a movie.
It's so funny because
Love and Thunder goes way but you have to understand, Ragnarok is my favorite movie to watch, but the one that felt reasonably like Thor was the original, which was kind of a Shakespearean family
like an
drama
origin story. Yeah,
but it was that tone to it They went too far with Thor: The Dark World, other than it was just garbage with the story, with like Malekith and stuff. But I think there are a lot of I'm not going to say, because I have other people tell me watch the whole movie. There are still going to be elements you're going to like, because I always like Korg. Like I like this version of Korg more than the comic version of Korg, with the Warbound and stuff. But that was more with Hulk. But I'm just, it's one of those things where it's part of the disjointed nature of Phase 4, even with She-Hulk and stuff. Everything feels so weird all over the place. And they may be trying to do it where they're trying to show the MCU not as kind of a straight, like, and I put in quotes, more straight comic story styles telling, which they did in Phase 1, 2, and 3, where they're trying to diversify and kind of have different types of genre mix into the quote MCU as kind of a big entertainment platform. That's what I look at now with Phase 4, 5, and 6. It's a big entertainment platform, the MCU, where the other was kind of sort of a cohesive story to it.
Yeah, and the thing is like people have Infinity War and Endgame to compare it to now, so it's like a lot of the stuff is not going to get anywhere close to living up to that
until we get to Kang Dynasty, and
and
we haven't had Kang yet, even though he's been, we saw a version of him. Kang has not been built up, even though, I mean, Thanos was kind of built up, but we didn't see him, but we had at least like a taste in Guardians of the Galaxy, like, we got to see the menacingness, and we got to see him a little bit, along with being told that this guy is scary. He just didn't tell us everything. Yeah,
it's going to be a minute.
We'll see him in Quantum Mania.
Right,
but he's not going to be the maybe full threat that we come understand. Even though Kang Dynasty has nothing to do with the Secret Wars at all. That's when he takes over the world using the sword base and stuff. Totally different.
Yeah, Kumar, I think a lot of people are kind of sitting where you are. It's kind of like the sequel trilogy. A lot of people, the Star Wars sequel trilogy, a lot of people
died with Luke Skywalker.
It kind of died there with Luke Skywalker. Yeah, Payton said he thought Morbius was better. But guys, yeah, that's a hot take. But I just rewatched Morbius recently, and it wasn't like the worst movie I've ever seen. No. When I rewatched it, I'm like, all right, that's a 6 out of 10.
But the good thing from Hot Toys is the good thing is from Hot Toys though, is overall, like, let's say we don't like Love and Thunder, like you watch Love and Thunder and hate the movie, they're still pulling out some figures and stuff like that. You might actually like the character. And the figures, like Reva, like we talked about Reva, people are mixed on the character. But if the figure's really cool, you might get something still really neat of that character if you liked them, even if you didn't necessarily love them. Or Dead Strange from Multiverse of Madness. That's a really awesome figure. Dude, even if it wasn't your favorite movie or didn't meet your full expectations of what you were expecting, that's still going to be a great figure to have if you liked it at all.
Yeah, I liked that movie. But real quick, so guys, people did get emails who have this guy on pre-order, and you can see now the date has been adjusted. He is now shipping earlier than expected, which is awesome.
I think 5 people pre-ordered him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be grabbing him. I really like that little like goblet that he's cooking up the spell in. I think that's really cool. And it's also Doctor Strange. As you guys know, he's my all-time favorite Avenger. So I got to get all the Doctor Stranges. I got to army build Doctor Strange. I got to get them all. So I'm excited to get this one. I haven't pre-ordered him yet, as you can see. See, guys, I do practice what I preach. He is on my wish list. I put all my stuff on a wish list, and then I kind of go down my list. Obviously, lately, with how things are changing, it's kind of forcing me to get stuff a bit earlier. Might be the case with this guy, but I think he will sit for a little bit regardless. But yeah, I'm going to be grabbing this guy. I do think the Multiverse of Madness Strange is kind of like the ultimate Doctor Strange release. Especially because he comes with those like dragons.
The dragon things are the thing. Really,
even though he didn't do shit with them in the movie, because Wanda was just like, "Oh, cool snakes, bam!" But I thought it was really cool.
It seems like you can almost use the wish list for yourself as kind of determination. If there's the dynamic where they, not right away, but obviously we were talking about that you may not be able to wait to 2 months before this figure is supposed to come out. Or wait till the reveal video or something like that, unless you're on the wish list or something.
And you do. Here's another thing before you finish what you're saying. I just want to say, with the wish list, you do get notifications in your email when like they change the price of something, when it has a deal, when it goes in stock. So that helps as well.
So this could be I was going to say, like, you could use, or maybe other things. So when you look at a figure, and I'm not saying necessarily unless it's a day, certain ones you might just be day one you do it kind of thing. But they're figures you're interested in, or if they're part of a line you're considering, the wish list on site, not even if you're going to necessarily order from Sideshow.
A lot of websites have wish lists, or you can make your own.
But you can use this. For American release, these guys are the be all end all, because 9 times out of 10 for websites that are based in the United States or your local LCS, they're going to get it from Sideshow. So they're part of the ordering thing too for when these are going bye-bye. But what you can use, the wish list, look at Sideshow as that as a resource. If you're looking at that figure, like let's say not day one, but over the course of a month or two, that wish list, if you're trying to decide, or you really kind of want to try and get that figure or not, the wish list can be kind of a thing that helps you make up your mind on one if you're going to even try and pre-order it or not. Because if you're not willing to just put it on your wish list, like after a month, just to make sure you get a notification if it starts going low, then that might be a good indication. If you're not willing to even just put it on your wish list, that might not be a figure for you actually really want, So you may not want to try and save the funds because, 4 months from now, Andor's coming out, and I'm interested to see that series, and there might be 3 or 4 figures, so I'm not willing to.
Ooh, we're about to get so many figures.
But I'm just like, if you're looking, you're looking at the Strange, and you're just kind of like, well, I've sat here for 2 months, I've looked at it, and I don't even want to put it in my wish list necessarily, where I get informed that if it might go out, then that might mean you just need to kind of let that one die and keep your eyes out for what comes out next and save those funds.
I agree.
Yes,
just a side note, Matt, you're clearly not a big fan because his name is Collecting Madness. So
that's actually my boy. I've known him ever since I've lived down here. Yeah, man.
I was going to say it looked like he almost put Collecting Manassas, like the battle for
Madness. No, he put Madness.
I thought it was
Manassas.
I'll take what I can get. He's a big fan of the Civil War battles or something.
Right.
I'll take what I can get.
Wolf Moon, what's up, my friend? We gave you a shout out earlier when we were talking about the Spidey. Once again, we appreciate you helping me and CMB out, bro. Still really excited to talk about that figure. You just missed it. So if you want to watch it, just kind of wind back a little bit.
I like a confirmation thing, maybe that Falcon Cap is coming, so you can actually get that duology together.
Yeah, that would be super cool. I'm all for that, man. Another one, guys, we got to get a bit of news on. Echo, people did get their shipping emails regarding Echo. Finally, this one's about to start shipping soon. I know everybody's been asking about Echo and Hunter. Still no peep about Hunter, unfortunately. The interesting thing, and Sean and I kind of pointed this out on a recent live stream, is the Hunter didn't have his sculpt displayed at the Hyperspace event, so maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe they're kind of trying to work out some kinks with that head sculpt.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We know finally when the new season's coming. January 3rd.
So, it got pushed back, unfortunately. But hey, at least we have something to tide us over.
Fanboying over all of this.
Yeah. Well, no. And the thing is, might want to keep our eyes out probably in January. I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of the new bad... I mean, that's when Hunter may be coming, because he was already supposed to be a few months behind Echo as it was.
Yeah.
But wouldn't be surprised, January, February, we might start seeing either Wrecker or maybe,
I hope so,
one of the
Wrecker,
other...
that's my boy, man. I need Wrecker.
Well, my main one that I absolutely want to be on Hunter and Echo was... what do you call it? Crosshair. Like he's the main one. If I was only going to get one more, of these guys,
he's the bad guy. You need Crosshair, man.
Yeah,
he looks incredible, dude. Yeah, I agree. I want them all. Let's see. Let me touch on some of the comics. I don't even know what I just said. I couldn't tell you. Let me touch on some of the comments. Soul said he likes this in the Multiverse of Madness Strange. I guess, we're talking about Doctor Strange. Yeah, the Multiverse of Madness Strange is beautiful. Like, that sculpt is top tier, man. Don't get me wrong, I love the No Way Home one, but that Multiverse of Madness one, that's the one to get for sure. Zombie kind of agrees with him. The Multiverse of Madness Strange is amazing. Yeah, I know, Chris, you were a big fan of that one, too, when it first popped up, and I think a lot of people are going to end up picking that one up. I'm interested to see the sales.
It's the sculpt, the dragons, and the
everything.
Cape.
And that new outfit, it's like such a vibrant blue. Just looks so good, man. So that's actually OG. You're jumping ahead a little bit. Smart man. We're actually about to talk about Bo after this as well. But, this is a really exciting release. I know a lot of us are like, okay, where's the rest of my Bad Batch? And I'm kind of right there with y'all, especially with Wrecker. I really, really want that Wrecker. But guys,
didn't
real
they
quick.
tease him?
Oh yeah, they've shown them quite a few times. It's just we haven't seen any sort of pre-order information or anything, or like official announcement. But guys, for those of you that are here, we have 26 people here. If you haven't already, please drop a like on the stream. We're almost at 30 likes. Again, we want to push to that 50 likes, whether it's now or once people are watching the replay. We really do appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. But yes, now that... go ahead, Lane.
I also like to know, where's my mech test Tony Stark?
Lane, your mech test Tony Stark is sitting right in a pile next to the Endgame Loki. They're just chilling there together, best buddies. Who knows when they're going to come out? Maybe eventually.
Maybe in 2024.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I really want that Endgame Loki, so I'm hoping that these other releases have kind of been hanging on get pushed out eventually. But yes, as OG pointed out for us, the Bo-Katan did just receive a delay through Sideshow.
Of course.
So she did get pushed back again, unfortunately. This is one I do have fully paid off. That doesn't happen a lot lately because all these releases I'm pre-ordering when they're about to hit in stock. But this one, this was a day one pre-order for me back when I was day one-ing everything from The Mandalorian. So I'm really excited for this one. I mean, this is the leader of the Night Owls. You can't really ask for much more. And I think this head sculpt looks really good. It looks just like Katie Sackhoff, in my opinion. I know a lot of people were comparing her to John Cena and such, but I mean, realistically, like the chin area is... Yeah, the chin area is definitely comparable, but I don't think it looks like John Cena, guys. You're just being mean. Katie seems like such a sweetheart. Don't do that to her, because I remember when this first dropped, she was really excited to show like pictures of it and stuff. So I'm really excited for this. I think they're going to knock this out of the park because they kind of have to, because they're selling 2 other members of the Night Owls to go with it. So I think they're going to want to knock all of these out of the park. I'm really excited to see this one in hand, though. Especially with Season 3. She's going to have a huge role, obviously, in Season 3. All the Night Owls are, really, at least as far as we know. So I'm definitely really excited to get this one for sure. Wolf Moon, that's okay, dude. Thank you for poking in. I will talk to you later once you get a chance to watch the replay. Definitely hit me up. Yes, Doc Brown and Cyborg. Doc Brown actually got pushed up as well. Cyborg is probably going to be my next pre-order. I keep saying that, but they keep hitting us with these exclusives. Yeah, and the XE suit Batman as well. Probably not, though. That's a pretty beefy guy, and he's got some substantial armor and stuff.
And
so I'm sure.
And you don't know what else might just magically pop up from Sideshow in the next like 2 or 3 weeks in your. Since we don't seem to get photos and follow the usual path, you don't know what's going to pop up in your email you already have on pre-order, saying, "Hey, guess what? This is about getting ready to come, so get ready and have a nice day." Yeah,
right. Basically. Does anyone have any comments on Bo before we move on? Because I know this one was a hot topic for a while. Like I said, people were kind of crapping on this one. And me personally, I was the one that sat back and I was like, I don't see what you guys are seeing. Like, I understand, like, the chin area, sure. I could see that when you hold the photo next to it. But, like, I don't know. I think this is very accurate to the actress. And I think, if anything, if you're comparing it to John Cena, you think that the actress herself looks like John Cena. Because this is accurate, I think, to the likeness of Katie Sackhoff, in my opinion.
No, then totally John Cena's a very attractive woman.
Right. I think she's pretty. I mean, you might not be a fan of how she looks in The Mandalorian, but like normal attire outside of any movie
literally
or TV
looks
show,
like the character. She literally looks like the animated version.
She looks just like the character that she voiced. So it's like I think she's a pretty woman. Me personally. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I think she is.
Oh, there's a lot of people that think that. And I think this sculpt is fine just the way it is as well. I definitely don't see the John Cena thing. But...
Yeah, and you would know because you watch a lot of wrestling. So I mean, you've seen his face plenty. You would see it right off the bat if it was really.
I can see where there's a little from certain angles, like the straight on view, just a little bit.
I said, I think it's the chin.
With the chin, it's the chin, just the chin. It's not the nose or the rest of the face or anything, because I don't see like male-ish features on her. But with the thick chin on the figure, it's straight on. If you're like looking from the side, I don't see it. But this is our eyes playing weird tricks on us too.
Yeah.
And like even when they compared photos with this, like then that's when you can really see the accuracy of this sculpt, and it's not that far off.
I agree. I completely agree. Soul Nightmare says he's not a fan of The Mandalorian. That's interesting, dude. What? It's like. And I do respect your opinion, but for the most part, with all the recent Disney content, I think most people like The Mandalorian. So I'd be curious to hear like what you don't like about it.
I think that's the first person in the world
No, I've heard other people say it, but it's very infrequent.
Rare.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious. But let's move on, guys, to our final topic of the night. We're just going to touch on this very briefly. I just want to hear what all the panel members have to say. But InArt is actually doing a event in Las Vegas where they're inviting influencers. And I also do have to show. I almost forgot. I'll do that before we close out. Yes, Harry Potter. Yep, I'm really. I'm excited for the Harry Potter. That's the first thing I saw. Once I saw Harry Potter on there, everything else just kind of disappeared for me.
Threw the money at the screen.
Before we close out, I do want to show the photo that Lane showed me. So we'll have one more thing after this, but yeah. So guys, InArt's going to be doing an event with. Really, if I wanted to, or if anybody on the panel wanted to go, they do have like an open invitation for any YouTubers. I don't know if I'm going to travel all the way to Vegas for an InArt event because it's probably not that big of an event because it's like a private event. But it is really cool. I think that they're doing something like this. It kind of gives us a chance to see stuff in person and get an idea of what it's going to look like once they start shipping things. But this list has me excited for a couple reasons. One, because it has Harry Potter on it, like Chris was pointing out. Like, we're really excited for the Harry Potter stuff because obviously we did get some Harry Potter hot toys, but they were from Fantastic Beasts 2. I do have those, but I don't have any of the main films, which is where my true love lies with Harry Potter. Because Star Race, honestly, to put it bluntly, like their figures are crap.
Did you see last night? I had assaulted. Sorry.
We saw it. That figure is what's the character's name?
Starlight. You saw
Starlight.
Starlight.
For almost $400.
Yeah, that was shown and assaulted my eyes last night. If you guys
it's an assault on us as collectors. That's what it is. $400 for that crap? No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Just to put in context, because I probably came at last night on Collecting Weekly, their late night show. I think I've never come at a figure like as harshly as I did, because I was literally like, do you guys realize that Starlight, the collector's edition, is $4 more than Falcon Cap or the Chrome Endo?
Yeah, and it looks horrible, and it's Star Race. So if the prototype looks horrible, best believe when the actual final product shows up, it's worse. It's worse, and that happens every time. I mean, like I said, the Harry Potter figures were a disaster. There was probably like 2 or 3 where I'm like, those are acceptable. Like the Gringotts Goblin, that one was decent. The Voldemort, one of the sculpts was okay, and then the one Harry Potter from the Goblet of Fire was okay as well. But for the most part, they kind of just wasted this license. And being that us Harry Potter fans we're 1/6 collectors, we want to see better stuff. So I think it's smart of them to not only start with the Sorcerer of Stone, and to kind of go off of Clone Trooper's question here. He said he wonders what year they'll focus on. I think they'll probably eventually touch on all the films if they see people buying into this line.
Yep.
But it's good that they're starting with the first one, and I'm also glad that it has sculpted hair. I don't care about rooted hair personally, so I feel like if they want to push these figures out quicker and make it affordable for a lot of people, just give it the sculpted hair. I don't care.
It'll
about
be
having
cheaper
rooted hair.
sculpted too.
Yeah. So that's why I'm getting the regular version. I got
Star
one
Race
thing
said, we're
I
in our
hope-
quality.
Yeah, they thought that's what they thought. For
no, they thought they were
$379.
hot toy. Yeah, well, you know what? You know, it's just to put in context, real quick, and then it also relates to InArt. So the Joker I'm buying from, I'm picking it up from Spec Fiction, but for the InArt Joker. Now, admittedly, this was announced last year and everything, so it's a little bit longer time frame. But for my figure, like before shipping and stuff, it's like $359. So the InArt Joker that I am getting costs almost $20 less than the Starlight Deluxe. Just to put that in context for a second. Think about that. They want to charge more. $20 more. Now it's the first one, mightily. But they're trying to do a character Starlight from the boys and charge you $20 more than you're getting for a 6 scale of Heath Ledger Joker.
And
Just think about that for a second.
The thing is, too, I know people love that show, and I personally haven't seen it yet. That's on my list. I know people love that show, but I feel like a lot of people aren't going to be jumping into those figures only because you know how a lot of people are. They're like, okay, let me cover Star Wars and Marvel first, and if I have room or I have the funds, then I'll grab another IP. So it's like it's already not a line that a lot of people might be. It's already a line that a lot of people might not jump into, and then you're going to charge $379. You're pricing yourself out and then some. You know?
And they already made the Bill Butcher and Homelander, the two most important main characters, look like trash. They look like trash in the prototype, and they literally came out both awful, worse than the prototype that didn't look any good. So.
Yeah.
So for this event, has InArt picked up the North America license yet for Marvel or DC or anything?
Well, they're going to show off the Paul Atreides Dune figure, which is their first official U.S. and worldwide license.
Right.
Okay, so this seems like an act of desperation. Let's just call it what it is. This is a complete business act of desperation here. I mean, you have a spokesperson who can't get with the program and answer a simple question. How many points of articulation does the Joker have?
And what's his name, John or Josh?
You know what's funny?
It could be Jimmy John's Pizza, as far as I care.
I wonder if they invited Denobi. This is his hometown. He's from Nevada.
That would be
so
fantastic.
I wonder if they wanted to get close to Denobi so they could see if he'll check out their figures. That would probably be a bad idea. Yeah, that'd be a bad idea if they invited him because I don't think he would get along very well with them.
But no, it's just
with all
this seems to me like an act of desperation. They're hurting. Their 1/6 scale is not going how they want, and it's their own fault. They outpriced everything to include stuff that's in stock or already pre-ordered by Hot Toys. What would have been the smartest move for them to do is go with the 1989 Batman.
Yeah, I mean
that would have been the smartest thing.
80s in general.
And Hot Toys is going to do that. So it's like I'm glad to see some new stuff on here. Like the Harry Potter is obviously very exciting to me, and the Black Adam. But we know we're going to get a Hot Toys Black Adam, so it's like it's cool.
You don't know that.
I think we will. I think we'll do it. Like me personally, I do think we'll get a Hot Toys.
I think that's it. It's The Rock.
Oh, I thought you said we won't.
I said we will. No, yeah, that'd be stupid to say because they'll absolutely, I think, do a Hot Toys Black Adam.
We won't. I was about to say.
Well, they've already had the license for The Rock before when they made the G.I. Joe Roadblock.
Yep. Yeah, yep. So and that's part of my thing with InArt is like I would like to see them continue to do stuff that hasn't been touched in a long time, like the Joker, or stuff that other people aren't willing to touch right now. And that was kind of like their selling point when they first popped up as a company. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited by the Harry Potter stuff. Like that's incredibly exciting to me, and that's the stuff I want to see.
Yeah. Speaking of, I sorry to cut you off because I don't want to forget it. I was telling because my fiance, she's a huge fan of it. On July 14th, I messaged her because I watched a stream, I guess, and John was on it. He said Ron, Hermione, Snape, and Harry are in the works by InArt, and they're going to be all from the Sorcerer's Stone.
Which is like it's smart for them to start with the first film because then they could build off of that and do one film at a time. And honestly, dude, it's like for Harry Potter, it's like whatever I can fit because I have such a love for the films and I read the books when I was a kid, so it's like I love Harry Potter. There are quite a few things on this list where one, it's stuff we've already seen because we knew they were coming out with it, but the other stuff, it's like I'm not the biggest into Lord of the Rings. I know sacrilege, but so I don't have any interest in the Lord of the Rings figures. And then like the Pennywise, I've already kind of said my piece on that one. So I hope they continue to do stuff that is kind of outside the box and not stuff that we're already going to get from Hot Toys or already have received from companies recently.
The only other thing I'm interested in, which isn't on this list, is the Game of Thrones line. Because I'm pretty deep in it from 3.0, so I'm kind of curious to see what they do.
Right, and who knows how far down that line they're going to go.
Right.
They may just do the main characters and call it a day. Who knows? But yeah, so this will be interesting.
If they did the main characters, that's still a lot.
I should say main characters like Jon Snow, Daenerys, Jaime, like not like 3.0 where they're doing like
the Night King and
the Night King. Well, the Night King, I guess.
No, he's pretty mean.
Yeah, dude, Nightmare, me too, bro. The moment I saw Daemon in his like dragon outfit with the dragon helmet, I'm like, dude, I want that as a figure. Daemon's my favorite character right now in House of Dragon by far.
I agree. We hated him at first, and then his arc and story has just been great. Yeah, I told Aaliyah already. If they do him, I'm on already.
Yeah,
Any
I'd
of
love to
them.
get a figure of him for sure.
What was who was the first like real good man that was in the first season? I can't remember his name, but his last name was Stark.
Ned Stark.
Ned.
Ned Stark.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a grail. The
Yeah, I
3-0 one.
missed
That's a
his
grail.
figure,
Sean
dude.
Bean.
Sean Bean
Doomed
going
to
Zilla
die in
Sean
every
Bean.
film. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Actually,
that's another actor that literally dies in every film. Like, really?
Yeah.
Come
Hey,
on.
I just saw, actually, we have watched some episodes of the British historical drama that he was in, Sharp, which was a series from the 90s. It's when he really first became known, based off a series of books. Where he plays a commoner who becomes an officer in the Napoleonic Wars for the British. It's one of the few things he doesn't actually die. He nearly gets killed a bunch of times, but he was really good in that. It's funny seeing a really young Sean Bean actually
Oh,
not
I'm
get
sure
his
it
ass
is.
killed.
I think I think the first movie I watched with him was GoldenEye.
Really? It's a
I
classic.
mean, I was in high school when that came out.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that was the first movie I saw Sean Bean in, too, was
Oops,
GoldenEye.
sorry.
Yeah,
And I didn't even know it was Sean Bean until later when, you know, I actually started seeing him in other movies and found out who he was.
Right. So
And then started noticing that every movie he died.
yeah, he really does. He's one of those actors. That's like his fate in every single movie, and it's like, how do you get stuck like forever in that position? Maybe they're just like, oh, he's good at dying, so we're just gonna keep hiring him from those roles.
Dude, even in some of the like modern British movies that he's been in, where he's the main character and he's the good guy and he's kicking ass the whole movie, there have been movies it'll be like towards the end he'll just die, and it makes no sense, but it'll be
Yeah,
like
it's
he's
like,
dead.
why?
Okay, go, but they got to go on with the movie and let somebody else take over and finish it out. Or there was another one where he literally was the main character, but he died like 30 minutes into the movie, and I'm like,
If he dies,
I was
he
like, dude, it's your
dies.
fate, man. It's gonna be the worst fate ever as an actor to just be like, I'm gonna be in this movie for 30 minutes. What?
Yeah,
All
and
right,
he has main character
cut me a
talent,
fat check,
which is
call
crazy.
it a day.
Right,
But
exactly.
he's
Well-
been some great villains too, like in Patriot Games and GoldenEye.
Right.
what was the movie that he was in where it had the guy from? Oh God, I can't remember. It was Natalie Portman's like one movie where he's an assassin. Gary Oldman's in that.
No, that wasn't
Gary-
Sean
Gary
Bean. That
Oldman's
was
the goat.
Gene Reno.
No, but the guy who plays the assassin, the
Gene
the
Reno.
cleaner. Okay,
Yeah.
him. He's also in a movie with Sean Bean and where they're in France, but he doesn't die. He pretends like he's this former SAS, and then
Oh, I know what movie you're talking about.
yeah,
Damn,
he
I
doesn't
can't
die
remember the
in
name.
that. I can't think of the name either, and it's driving me
start.
insane right now. And I know I could cheat and I could look it up, but I don't want to do it because I want to try and figure it out.
Well, think about it while we look at Boba Fett.
So this is I passed
Yeah, I
this on you
quit.
'cause-
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, someone had posted this up and everything. I guess you just got him like today, and I wanted if anybody was wondering that if the Boba throne can actually fit in a detail shelf.
It does,
Is
yeah.
that-
It looks
yeah.
really good, and you could definitely
And
fit Fennec too, sitting on the side. You absolutely could.
Because this gives me hope. Because because unfortunately I have not put together detail that I thought I would by the time he would have come out. But I also didn't think I was going to be moving within the next 10 months, so that's why I haven't put it together yet. I'm planning to have him kind of up front next to the door, but I'm going to have Jango Fett behind him, and then I have to have, but he's not meant to be there, but he'll get moved eventually. Heavy infantry Mando. I'm hoping they're going to fit, but heavy is so thick. I'm not sure that's going to have to work necessarily.
It's going to be a challenge, but hey, anything can be done. You'd be surprised if you orient it the proper way. You get a lot of stuff.
It looks like I've seen this box. Like the boxing for this is actually done really well because it's actually all in one box and everything, which I was.
Mine hasn't shipped yet. I got that preparing to ship notification on the 13th. It hasn't shipped yet, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I talked to Sideshow on that.
What'd they say?
Yeah,
It hasn't arrived yet.
mine originally charged back on the 8th, the week before.
So yours is actually shipped out then.
Yeah, mine comes tomorrow.
Oh,
It's
that's right,
called
you did say
Ronin, CNB. The movie's called Ronin.
Ronin, okay. See,
But
Oji knows all about these movies.
I think that's because
okay.
I think that's
Ronin's
because
a good movie.
1-6
Yeah.
Arts, how you doing, bro?
I just wanted people to kind of see if anybody has this coming or was considering with the throne. Because I was starting to wonder a little bit if this guy was going to fit necessarily the throne in there, but he will fit in comfortably,
I figured
it
he
looks
would.
like.
Dude,
Yeah.
Chud, if you would have said Sean Bean and Robert De Niro, then I would have been like, oh, that's Ronin.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know what? I watched it when it first came out, too. So I'm sorry.
Wow. You
I
should be
apologize
sorry,
that I
Sean.
didn't know every actor.
You've only seen it once? I didn't know I've seen it more than once. That's why.
Head
So,
sculpt looks
Yeah.
good for Boba.
It does. It looks really good. I think the lighting in that guy's photo is pretty bad, so I didn't want to
Yeah.
highlight it too much because
I'm surprised we haven't.
really nice.
I'm surprised we have not got an unboxing video yet.
I know.
I'm
I
gonna
was
get-
checking because I was going to show it on stream, but there aren't any
Yeah.
yet. I'll unbox mine the moment I get it, but
Or Sideshow's one or something. I'm willing to bet
Yeah.
probably like next week or something like that at some point after Bestember finishes. I wouldn't be surprised next week we actually, because as much as we like to rag on and Sideshow, their videos
about to
kind of
say
a first.
Sean.
Yeah, those. Now Sean and I just rag on you because it's gonna be 2025 before we get Mace Windu.
you know it's going to be
Um,
2022 when you
go.
grow a beard. 50
Yeah.
likes, everybody. Don't forget, if you're here on the replay, 50 likes and Lane will grow a beard.
But just to make last mention, because I know we're wrapping up here.
Look
don't
who it
forget-
is towards the end. Jay,
Yay,
how's
brother
it going,
cousins.
bro? Hope you're doing
Hope
well,
you're
man.
feeling better, man.
Hey, wait, CNB, what is that? 75 likes during this stream and you'll show your face?
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
But hey, you'll get to
He'll-
see the
Cobra
Cobra
Commander got
hood.
Cobra Command. You know, we already know Cobra Commander, man, is not a good face to look at right before you're gonna eat, guys. So we might have some people getting ready to eat dinner.
I didn't say I'd to show all facial features. He would just show his face. He'd probably lift the hood and he'd put a churro in his mouth.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna.
I just have to hide the hood because I, don't want anybody getting offended.
Oh yeah,
thinking that
you
some
got
other
yelled at
thing.
about your hood. Yeah.
Yeah, because
So-
apparently, the giant Cobra logo on the forehead
Yeah.
is not the
Well,
is not
we
the
want-
giveaway.
We wanted to give just a reminder, guys. We have hit our surpassed 250.
Yes, we have. Thank
subs.
you, everybody. We really appreciate
Yeah, thank you very much for that. I know we've been slowly working towards that milestone. So, I know that last week Connor had mentioned, and we will be putting a video together, he and I,
Yep.
and we're going to explain how to enter. Because as you know, the Arkham Harley, we will be doing that giveaway, and she just sold out. Like no wait list.
Oh, that's right.
sold
She
out
did. Yeah.
just in the
You're right.
last few days. So this is not only now for the giveaway, but is now a completely sold out figure of her.
Yeah, and a very nice figure, might I add. I've watched some reviews on it ever since Lane told me he wanted to give it away, and it's a very nice figure. I loved those video games, so definitely if you want
I
a
own
chance
it.
to win, guys, you own
I
it. What
own
do you
it.
think
It's
of
really
it, Sean?
good.
It's a
I
nice
like
figure.
it.
And as we're wrapping up here, can I make one announcement not related to us, but in relation to another channel with Geeking Out?
Go ahead.
quick?
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
No,
we
no,
love geeking out over here. Go ahead.
I know. I just
Absolutely.
so anybody who was not here, I assume there's a decent amount of crossover for our channels, but I did reveal yesterday and then completely derailed Nate's stream for the last 20 minutes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So as I announced there
No
for
cop.
anybody who didn't hear, for the holiday season, I am contributing to Geeking Out, and we are going to be giving away an arena fet. You have to be. We're going to put out a video later in the fall. Exactly how you're going to have to. You have to be a minimum subscribed, and we'll have the exact rules and stuff. But it's going to be part of a holiday giveaway where the top prize will be arena fet, which obviously by that time is going to be totally gone and probably have some crazy. Might go back up and how much people are willing to pay for it in 2 or 3 months. But we're going to be giving that away as the first prize. We're also going to have Don Prime is contributing at the DLX Hulkbuster.
My
yeah.
goodness.
The 12 scale? No, that's it.
Yeah, it's 12 scale. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the only Hulkbuster you can get right now licensed. I would make, which is an absolutely amazing figure.
Significantly cheaper as well. It's very
Yeah,
nice.
it's $249.99. So that, and there is another item that I'm forgetting off the top of my head that is also beginning away. So I wanted to make everybody aware. We're also trying to help Geeking Out get up to 3K subs.
Yes, guys,
so
if you aren't over at
we've got-
Geeking Out, I see a lot of familiar faces, but some of you I've never seen over there, so definitely head over to Geeking Out. Those are our boys over there.
Yeah.
I'm on Geeking Out. CMB's on Geeking Out. A lot of us trickle over there.
Sean
quite
eventually will
often,
be on
so.
there sometime when we can trick
He's
him.
been on there
into
before.
He's been on there.
before. Yeah.
I've been on there
a
like
couple
4 or
times.
5 times now.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
he's
the
been
only
in
one who
there.
hasn't had the Geeking Out cherry pulled is Collecting
Oh,
Madness.
it is. It's Chris. I'll have to drag him in one day. Nate's always looking for
He can
people
just
to come
pop in
over.
for 30 seconds and just be like, and like the Scourge the Executioner, and this is my stuff, and just point to it, and then just say peace out, and then there he
Right.
goes. Then he got his cherry pop.
Nate wants to come over here one day, so one day soon we'll have Nate on. We'll bring everybody on for that stream. We'll bring Nate in, CMB, V. We'll bring everybody.
But we're looking forward to
This is my
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
in my brother's Machu case.
Sean's like, stop putting your nuts in my drum
So
set.
for Sean to pull off that scene, it'd have to be like his camera, and then he and the camera would have to pan. Quite
Man,
a
I
bit
have to have a
to show all that
satellite
stuff.
photo for that crap.
Soul Nightmare, thank you so much, bro. Thanks for hanging out and chatting with us all night. Really, really do
Thank you,
appreciate it.
everybody.
It's good seeing
Thank you.
I'll see you either on next week's stream or on one of the Geeking Out streams because I know you're always in there. Take care, bro. But yeah, guys, once again, hop on over to Geeking Out if you haven't checked Geeking Out. I mean, if you're not on Geeking Out's, if you're not subscribed to Geeking Out, what are you doing? But if
You'll
you're-
see
if
a
you
lot of
haven't-
us over there.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crossover between the streams, but also, guys, just to give you a little update on what I'm doing, I'm sure many of you have seen, and we did. If you were here during the segment when we were talking about the new Spidey, I did put up my review last night. So if you haven't checked that out yet, definitely check it out. I think I did a pretty good job at highlighting the figure, and I know a lot of you are curious what that figure is like in hand. Also, I did put up an Arena Boba Fett review right before that. I do have a special item that I got in from D23. If you're familiar with what stuff was released there, you may have an idea. I'm going to do a kind of a different unboxing. Usually it's all 6-scale stuff, but I'm going to do a non-6-scale unboxing on something really cool, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. So keep an eye out for that. I haven't even really looked at it because I haven't unboxed it yet. So that'll be really exciting to kind of experience it with you all on camera. Also, I have quite a bit of other stuff planned, but I'm just kind of going down my list as things arrive. Sean, is there anything new going on your channel? I know last time we talked to you, you were working on some stuff. Do you have anything coming out soon?
So I was expecting the Boba Fett enthroned to be
Take
here
care,
today,
or excuse me, Matt and Payton. Sorry.
but unfortunately, Sideshow did not ship it out on the 13th. They're saying that it has not arrived yet. So yeah.
So we're in the same boat then.
So if you can see me, I just I'm glad I have my camera off because you would have been seeing me forehead slap into my hands, and I was shaking my head because I'm really getting tired of hearing that particular Sideshow, and they charged me, and they told me it's not.
That's
on
the
the
new
way
norm,
there.
dude. It's the new norm. That's what that is.
I mean,
Stop
the email
charging
did
people.
say though
10 days.
that it should be 10 days, so I can't really be mad because they were upfront
Right,
about
because it's
that.
what
When
we're
it's
expecting.
when it's the 23rd, then I think I'm going to be angry.
Right, then you're like, now I'm pissed. You're
Well,
gonna call
no,
us
'cause
out.
I had
Where's
that
my
ha-
Boba Fett?
I had that.
Nah,
happen.
but that means 10 business days. You can't count
yeah,
Saturday or
that's true.
Sunday.
I know.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Well.
Oh,
you
they
know,
work Saturdays though, so
Oh, they do work
yeah.
Saturdays.
I had
Yeah,
that
so-
happen with my Dark Trooper because it took them from the day they charged me. It took them 13 days to finally ship it to me.
Oh, yes, Penn, you do know what it is. Don't say
But
anything there. Don't spoil it.
I've had a lot of easy transactions with Sideshow though.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too. I've always had great experiences with Sideshow.
And
Except today, they wouldn't put my rewards back on my order after I canceled the one before that. I was
You know why, right? They said, bro, man, we sent you that free picture book. What else do you want, man?
Yeah,
Come
right?
on.
They're like,
Isn't
"You're
there
never
like a
gonna read it, but
25? Isn't there like a 25?
Yeah, there was.
coupon
I got
in
a
that?
10% sticker on the paper. It wasn't even put on the shipper. It was on the paper. A nice little pristine sticker. And then I had the book with a $25 off in it. I was so hyped.
If you could only stack
I
them,
got
that would
that
be
too.
great.
It'd be awesome if you could stack. Too bad you can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
so For my channel, though, well, for this channel, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. So that's still there.
Yeah,
However, because of who I work for, it has to be, I can only give away something in the US. So I can't give away overseas.
That's fair. I mean, guys, we do have giveaways for international people, like the gift cards and stuff. Those are like, once we hit the. By the way, we're about 7 away in the Facebook group. Just side note. So if you're not in the Facebook group and you want a chance to win a gift card, if you're international and I can't buy you a gift card, I'll just send you the $25. So don't you worry. At least for that, I can do the giveaways for that. But what Sean's saying is completely understandable.
So you could get 25 $1 US bills.
Well, my giveaways are only in pennies, guys. I'm just letting you know. I'm not using PayPal. You're just gonna get pennies.
You could get 2,000
a box of pennies.
Dude, you know how expensive that would be to ship.
Better not.
It'd be so heavy. I would hate whoever shipped it.
I'd be pretty upset. But yeah, so guys, 1,000. Our current goal is 500. But once we get to 1,000, Sean is gracious enough. And also, guys, big shout out to Lane too. Lane and Sean are some of the most generous guys I know, so that's why we have them on here, because they're such cool.
So we'll give away
guys.
Free stuff. Gotcha. Okay.
Lane, I've been friends with you.
Hey,
for
Lane,
a long
so we're starting our own thing, right? We'll give away on our own channel.
Lane, I've been friends with you
before.
I
The clean shaven and the beard.
Before you were on YouTube. Don't you forget that, Lane. Before you were on YouTube.
Well, see,
And
guys,
likewise
exactly
to
what
me,
he
you were
did,
friends
but-
with me before when my Discord had like 100 members. So we're both nice guys. How about that?
it's what
Listen
can we
to that
say?
evil
It's tough being the most humble guys on the YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's tough being this awesome, right, Lane?
Yep. Well, we all are willing to admit that Mace Windu in the end is coming in 2025, so it's all
My
22.
goodness.
You missed. 22.
It's like Wrath of the Lich King, in the announcement trailer when they were showing it for WoW Classic. They had made it look
I
like it
heard
was going to
about
be
that, yeah.
2023 and then went, boom, 2022 right at the end. Because they realized no one was playing.
Yeah, Penn too. Penn's known me for a long time as well. Way back when I first started the Discord. But real quick, Chris, I think I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but I think you just posted another review on your channel, right?
Yeah, that guy.
What is that guy? Tell us about it, Chris. What's this review for?
It's the new Darth Vader helmet that Hasbro did, the
Oh,
Black
nice.
Series
Black
one. That's supposed to
Very
be 2020.
Yeah, so guys, that's the Kenobi Black Series helmet. Chris got it pretty early, considering a lot of websites aren't shipping it out until 2023. My pre-order included is going to be shipping in 2023, but I wasn't in a rush because you guys know
Oh,
I have a ton of helmets. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What
hadn't
other-
pre-ordered yet, so when I saw the opportunity, I was like, "Well, I'm getting it anyway."
might as well
so,
jump on
yep.
it. Yeah.
so one last. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that reminds me, I have the Trapper Wolf helmet.
Nice.
Oh yeah, the black. That one's
From,
really nice.
Big Bad Toy Store coming.
Yeah, I wanted that, but it's like I have literally one space left in my helmet spot, and that's for the other Vader helmet. So then the other ones, it's like I'm gonna have to let him go if something cooler comes out. So, but
Just
also, good.
I was gonna say, you just gotta sell it.
Yeah,
How
I'll
about
eventually. If there's something cooler that comes out, I'll sell one of my other ones. Like, dude, if they release like an animated Boba Fett helmet, one of these helmets is gonna go. But I also want to thank CMB for coming on. CMB is my boy. It was really awesome having you on, dude. I want to have you on.
Thanks
more
for having
often.
me.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure, and I was hoping V would come on so we can have both you guys on because you guys are hilarious together. But
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
we'll have him on next time. He's probably busy. He's got a lot going on, but next time for sure. But does anybody else have any final closing statements? Any words
Yep.
of wisdom?
I wanted to ask you guys a question on the way out.
Sure, absolutely.
So I don't know. Did you guys hear about Iron Studios? It makes a lot of one of the TED scale statues and some of the other larger scale. They've done some Star Wars ones and everything like that. Really well-known Vader and such. They just were announced at D23 that they now have the worldwide license for a lot of the Star Wars statues and products. Like they should now. They did show. You might have seen they had the quarter scale Darth Maul with its probe droid and stuff, like earlier this summer. So they revealed a quarter scale Ahsoka Tano Mando
Oh, I didn't see that.
version. Don't. the facial sculpt for that thing looked terrible in comparison to the Sideshow one. But how do you guys feel? Do you think that I know you're not totally into statues, but you know, 10 scale and other stuff. Do you feel positive? Because I know you've seen Iron Studios stuff here and there. How do you feel about them just on the way out that they have that license now?
I mean,
Doesn't
obviously,
affect me.
yeah, it doesn't affect me, but the more Star Wars, the better. It's just, I hope that they use that license to realize they need to make some improvements with their production and their accuracy and everything. Obviously, we would have preferred the license to go to someone else.
Queen.
But,
Queen.
right. Yeah, it remains to be seen. We'll see. Yeah, I'm kind of there with Chris. It doesn't affect me personally, but I will say I hope that they realize the
that
wrath
Vader
of
on
the Star
throne
Wars
does look-
fans.
Yeah, that Vader on throne, though, does look pretty amazing, quarter scale statue.
It does look good. I think the proportions are a little bit weird in the
Weird.
chest area, but apart from that, it is really cool. I mean, Hot Toys didn't give us the Vader with the throne, but yeah. So I would say the more Star Wars merch, the better. You know how I am with Star Wars. I love my Star Wars, and I hope they do well, and I hope they make fans happy at the end of the day. I don't buy any quarter scale stuff, so it won't affect me at all, but yeah, for sure.
Someday
I would
over
like
the
to see
rainbow, friend.
Prime 1.
Someday over the rainbow.
Yeah, if Prime 1 got Star Wars, that'd be dangerous.
Third
man.
scale,
would
like
be-
they did a third scale Vader, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be dangerous for sure.
I would
Right,
like every
would be
bottom
all
shelf
in.
I have would be towards Prime 1.
Yeah, that'd be
You know,
dangerous.
I'll keep
One did
UPS
third
and,
scale
you know,
Star
employed.
Wars.
You know,
One
collecting
did third scale
madness.
Star Wars, I'd be
will
all
just
in.
be
I'd
like-
Yeah.
back on Prime.
Brown
again.
boxes, brown boxes, brown boxes.
Yeah, I don't
That's
need
getting
any-
left at your garage, pal.
Yeah.
Well, hey, the good thing is,
That's hot.
the good thing is possibly the next apartment I move into
There's
is going
something
to have a
wrong with
garage, so I'll actually have space to go with some of these big stupid statue boxes.
Right.
Well,
But all right, guys, time to wrap it up here. Once again, thank you everybody who stuck around. Thank you anyone who's just popping in to chat and say what's up. I hope you all have a great night. We really do appreciate you, and thank you very much for the love on my most recent video. I'm very blown away on how quickly the views and everything went up on that video. So thank you so much for that.
Killing it.
We're trying, man. I think everybody on this panel is killing it. That's why we're all on here, because you guys are all like-minded. I think we're all killing it. But that's all we got, guys. Once again, thank you to everybody for being here. The links are in the description for everybody's channels. Also, there are Sideshow referral links to the Chrome Stormtrooper and the Mark 46. If you would like to support the channel in a small way, feel free to drop a referral if you want
Also,
to.
One last thing. Speaking because Lane and Sean were doing the whole giveaway thing, I'm still doing a giveaway as well. Once I hit 300 subs, I'm giving away another $100 gift card to whatever you want, wherever you want, however you want to do it. But yeah,
There
all
you
you
go,
have to do is
$100.
subscribe.
100
That's it.
smackaroonies.
Yeah.
Yeah. OG, thank you so
Sideshow.
much for being here and moderating the chat as always and being just a general good time. I appreciate you, man. But that's it, everybody. Once again, keep an eye out on my channel. I got some stuff coming. Keep an eye out on all the channels and everybody here on the panel. And we will see you next Thursday around the same time. Have a great night.
Make good choices.